Hey, coming at you real quick. I'm getting ready to bring Trinidad on in a few minutes. Wanted to talk about what's going on regarding um, Teoscar Hernandez. We're seeing information, and so let me get things going here. Sorry about that. Let's see. Trying to use a PowerPoint to share screen with, so let's see how that works here. There we go. All right. Okay, again, hopefully you can see it. Here we go. So, Hector Gomez, source for a lot of Dominican types of things. He's been right about a few, been wrong about a few. Reporting the Dodgers have now emerged as a front runner over the Red Sox, the Angels, and the Mariners to sign Teoscar Hernandez, as they are willing to stretch beyond a 3-year offer, which is interesting. Overall, this is from Dodgers expert. Overall, he hit 295 on the road last year with 830 OPS. And then some information on Teoscar with his information from 2023. 2.1 WAR, 625 at bats. So he came to play 26 home runs. All right. He is a right-handed hitter, played mostly in right field last year for the Mariners. Represented by Wasserman, who I believe was the same ones that represented Yamamoto. So there's some good history. Hopefully, oh no, previously Wasserman. Oh no, no. Our guy Raphael, the MLB agent. He's on Twitter. That's right. He is representing Teoscar. So and I know one thing. He's Dodger fan, so hopefully he helps bring him to the Dodgers. On base percentage a little bit low, slugging not bad. OPS low for what he should be. OPS plus 106. Lifetime. Let's look at the lifetime. 118 OPS plus. OPS 802. Slug 486. Lifetime 159 home runs. This guy hits home runs. He's 31 years old, so this will be a big season for him at the age 31, right in the middle of his prime. Let's see. Overall in his career, let's go back to 2022 when the Mariners gave quite a bit of a haul to get Mr. Hernandez. In 131 games, he hit 25 home runs with a 267 batting average, on base percentage 316. Obviously, not a big fan of walking. 491 slug for 807 OPS. The year before that, 870 OPS with 32 home runs. Look, this guy is real in terms of what we need. The Dodgers need right-handed power. They need to replace the right-handed power that they lost by not re-signing JD Martinez and him not being able to play left field. Teoscar could play left field as a left-handed batter, 841 plate appearances, or versus left-handed pitching. Versus left-handed pitching. 841 plate appearances with batting average 275. Okay. 329 on base percentage, slug 557. Okay. We need that. Those are the things we need with OPS plus of 119. All right. That's that. Stop the share. Now I'm waiting for Trinidad to come on when he can. He's going to be coming in soon. But, I was watching Doug McCain, his video earlier today, and he had a video that talked about Teoscar and about quite a few other things also. But let's see what is going on. I'm trying to see what I got going on right now. Let's see. Yeah, that's not it. I'm trying. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I'm going to update a few things, but yeah, Doug was there, talking about the needs that the Dodgers have, and he basically convinced me that Teoscar would be a really good fit for the Dodgers. So, waiting for Trinidad to come in. When he comes in, we will start chatting. I'm going to start taking a look now at the chat. So that's, it's a little different experience using the using what's called um Zoom, because I got my guy coming in. Let's see, got a lot of folks coming in. Yeah, Roy, I'm a recent convert. I literally was texting Doug a couple hours ago going, "You sold me." Um, on him, I think looking at the way the team is constructed, looking at, the everyone's in their prime. Freddie might be eventually getting on the tail end of his prime. It's time to it's time. I just I that's kind of where I'm at with him. Um, I'm it's time to get this guy. I was kind of going towards, let's put Bush and Vargas out there. Um, I'm still not totally against that, but I think we need this kind of right-handed power. Now, I know everyone's number one is, of course, Randy Arozarena, and I don't blame you. That's for sure. But I think that this is I think that's really unlikely. And so what could happen? If you look at it, just look at it this way for a second with me, okay? Um, if the Dodgers go out and get get a Rosarena, it's going to cost a lot, right? I mean, I'm not lying, am I? Um, let's see. I've got some other stuff I'm trying to set up because I've got some better things. Um, let's see. I have a better description and everything like that. So I'm doing a little editing on the fly. Sorry about that, folks, but it's got to be done the way Zoom works. I'm not a fan of using it. But it's the way to do it. Let's see. How do I replace this thing? I want to replace my thumbnail. I hate this thumbnail. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Real quick, and then I'll be ready to roll. All right, there we go. Hopefully it comes up soon. Refresh. All right. Hey, there it go. Okay, Trinidad's coming in. I'm going to start adjusting things here. I got to adjust my picture to go on my side, and Trinidad is coming in to be on his side. I'll get him on his side once he's in. There we go. There's Trinidad. Yep, go vertical on me. Let's see. I got to place you in here. There we go.
What's going on, Tim?
Hey, we're live. We are live. Let's see. Let me get you big enough here. Let me make it about equal. All right. Okay, Trinidad is in the house. You'll see him in a minute. So I was talking about Teoscar Hernandez. He's what's his name? Hector Gomez is reporting that that the Dodgers are number one on him right now because they're willing to go at least over 3 years. Yeah, thanks. I'm talking I talk to myself a lot, that's. Fortunately, I got a good chat out here to talk to also. But yeah, so Teoscar, really put up some good numbers in 2022 and 2021. 2023 was a little bit of a down year. But I just think that I watched one of Doug's videos, or I was listening to it while I was tearing down Christmas lights. Not my favorite thing to do. I would rather keep my lights on all year. Yes, I'm that person. But yeah, that's what I was looking to do now, going through the chat a little bit. Is Hepatitis C later says, if you get TO now, you can use your prospects on other trades. The trickle effect. Exactly. I mean, right now the Dodgers are loaded with prospects. Kind of feel bad for some of those dudes, of course. But come July, they're going to know what they need. They're going to have given people the chance. They're going to be maybe they won't need anything. That'd be even the best. I mean, right?
Well, that's the thing though. A lot of these podcasts and a lot of videos I've been watching is that they're saying that a lot of these teams are that are willing to trade a lot of like pitching guys or their starters or whatever. They should just trade them now because you're at risk of probably losing some of these guys on injury. And next thing you can't really trade them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things, right? And I look at the White Sox. They're taking a big risk right now if they don't trade Dylan Cease. That's just an example. Um, he
I
might
think that
if he comes back and as good as he was in 2022, they're going to make a real killing.
well, that's
But
the thing though too. Well, you
what if
know
he
how the
doesn't?
White Sox are. They're gonna be well. They've been really careful with what they've been trading now ever since that Fernando Tatis trade went through.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yep.
So I mean, and then after that, all their trades have been pretty bad. So they're trying to be really careful what they get rid of and who they get back. I mean, although they did get back two number one prospects last year from the Angels for Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, and they also got Nastrini and Jordan Leisure from the Dodgers for Lance Lynn and the great Joe Kelly. Um, so maybe they're getting smarter with their moves. I mean, of course, the Angel prospects weren't really
I mean, it's
compared to
just probably their catcher.
they wouldn't even be in the top 10 with the Dodgers.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, as far as it goes, I mean, probably their catcher was their big one though. Edgar Quero.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So aside from that, I didn't see their pitching prospect probably up there in the top 100 list, anyways.
Yeah. I'm sure we saw Edgar a few times at Rancho.
We did actually, and I could tell you right now, he's probably going to be one catcher to look forward to probably in the near future for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's, the Angels, whatever, just you can't they just doubled up on stupidity this last year. Yeah. Our guy Ryan Fala wrote the article back in March, something like that, saying, "Hey, make the move, trade him, get the 6 prospects from the Dodgers." And instead, they didn't do it. The Dodgers still got him, and all they're getting is like the two and a second and fifth round pick or something like that. That's
I think
it.
it is too. Yeah,
Something like that, or it's one of those tweener picks or whatever, in between rounds or something like that. Um, yeah, that's all they got for maybe the greatest player of all time.
yeah. Honestly, that's exactly what it could have been. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these teams, like should be training a lot of their players already don't, and then when they hold on to them, they don't get nothing in return.
Here's a comment I like a lot from Mikey Kim. He says, "I trust Andy Paez." Mikey, I'm definitely in on Andy Paez. Where I see him fitting in is if he's ready to roll and he has a good first half in AAA, maybe, maybe he goes and takes the spot of Manny Margot or even Jason Hayward. Takes
I
that
was
right
just about to
field
say that
spot.
Jason Hayward.
Yeah, he takes that spot. In fact, I mean, it would be kind of. I saw it somewhere. I don't remember. If I remembered, I'd give credit, of course. But someone said the Dodgers should, if they get Teoscar, just go make a move and move Hernandez or move Margot. Just move him. I mean, just move that contract. Eat some prospect a little bit to move that contract. And I kind of wouldn't be against that, even though I think Margot is actually he's not a bad player. It's just like he's not worth the money. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's yeah. He's not a bad defender. I mean, obviously his
Yeah.
hitting at home wasn't that great. I mean, you already know how Tropicana Field is. That it's a closed dome. There's not
Yeah.
really that much. Yeah, so that ball doesn't really travel. But on the road, he was really tearing it up. I think his batting average is a little bit over 300. I want to say on the road,
Okay.
something like that.
And,
Yeah. So I
and
mean, it wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't that like it wasn't that he's not a bad hitter. Probably just the ball wasn't flying off the bat in Tropicana Field, but when he's on the road, I mean, he was tearing it up. So you don't know how that could take into place if once he plays at Dodger Stadium as well too, because you
Yeah,
know
and he
how the ball
does.
just
He
travels there.
he provides speed, and like you mentioned, the defense. Um, I think that's where they would benefit from him because I think where my concern right now, to be honest with you, is the lack of power on the bench. If you go, hey, what the bench today? Let's without Teoscar, I'm just assuming. I talked with Casey last night. I was on his
Right.
show, and we were talking about it, and a lot of this chat was on there too. Um, if we go, let's just assume CT3 is the starting left fielder, which leaves a
Right.
bench of Margot, Miggy Rowe, and Austin Barnes. There's no power. Now, there's still a spot which they could fill.
Right.
And if they do make this move for Teoscar, then CT3 it becomes the best power hitter on that bench, which doesn't say enough. It doesn't make me feel good. Versus having someone like a Michael Bush on the bench. But I hate that idea of Michael Bush on the bench. No, I want him to play. Um, yeah, there's just yeah.
Yeah,
The
there's just
thing,
there's a lot of questions on that bench. I mean, just as many questions as we had last year, like who the closer or who was going to come out of the bullpen, things like that. Now the question is who's going to be on the bench technically this season coming up, anyways.
yeah, and it's kind
Like,
of a definitely a first class problem versus other teams like the Padres going. I don't know who's going to be in our starting rotation. We have two guys, and that's it. Versus the Dodgers got in all honesty, they're loaded in the with starters. Now a lot of them are young, but they're ready to
right.
go. It doesn't mean the Dodgers are out on starters. I mean, because we saw it last year, they all break, and every one of them did, didn't they? At some point
Oh,
last
yeah,
year,
yeah.
everyone got hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean we called it last year. We knew even before the season started when we immediately started talking like who was going to contribute to the team, and immediately once I remember we even talked about when was it that Gavin Stone, Bobby Miller, and all these guys were going to start making their debuts and contributing to the team, and then sure enough, right in May, everybody started getting called up.
Yeah, yeah, it was absurd. I mean, it was almost too fast for some of those guys.
Yeah, but don't
For
get me wrong,
Gavin
everybody
especially,
contributed.
right? I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, it wasn't that great of a year for him. I mean, but like you said, they're ready to go, honestly, this year because now they got that year
mhm.
under their belt already and they got that taste.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that was huge. That and guys like Bobby Miller and Emmett Sheehan and Michael Grove they got to get punched around a little bit in the playoffs, which is good for them.
No, yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah. So I mean, geez. Now we haven't talked on this show since before. It was before Shohei Otani and Yoshinibu Yamamoto became Dodgers. All right, let's go back a few weeks. what what were you? I mean, let's start with the Shohei Friday where he was allegedly on a plane and all that. What were your thoughts going in on that day versus then the next morning? Holy smokes! What did you see
Well, it
or
was
what
funny
did
though.
you feel?
It was crazy. So Friday, I was at work in the morning, and the rumors started flying that where it was technically all over Twitter saying that he was on the plane ride to
Mm,
Toronto and all this going on, and in my head, I'm just like, well, this is kind of already in shock already that he would be flying to Toronto because I know he lives out here in California. So there, I mean, it was just too soon, obviously. And then finally, John Morosi was the one that tweeted it out saying it was like kind of like not true, kind of in a way. So that all that started happening, and then sure enough, it was tweeted by him that he wasn't even on a plane ride.
yeah, it's crazy.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, then it started hitting up the network, watching on TV that it wasn't true. It was just a lie or whatever. And then come Saturday morning, I was at work again, and finally, that's when I started going through Instagram, and I finally saw the post officially saying that he had signed or that he chose the Dodgers to sign with them.
Yeah, that Saturday, I saw a tweet that said, and it had a rep that he had signed. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. And it with pointing to his Instagram, and I go to Instagram. And the first thing I would do is doing wasn't looking reading it. I was going, is this real? Is this the real Shohei? And it's like, okay, blue check mark, Shohei. And then I read the thing and I'm like, oh my gosh. It was great that he broke it after all this crazy stuff that none of the experts or allegedly got to break it. I thought that was kind of cool because they kind of didn't deserve it after their behavior the day
Right.
before. Um, yeah, man. And then Yamamoto, I mean, that was I don't know if you knew it, if you were following, but Clint Pasillas was on. He was doing a live show, and I was watching it, and then um I see the internet and Clint started getting feels, so I'm texting Clint, not putting him in the chat. I'm texting him because I'm going. First it was like Bowden, and then I go Rosenthal, and then so he kept repeating that stuff on the air. It was one of the craziest things. But yeah, Clint was on the air. Everyone went on the air that night after that. It was just like, okay, everyone get your gear, let's go play ball. It was
No, yeah, I was at work as well too. So it's funny. So at my job, it's a certain area inside work where the facility where I can't get no service whatsoever.
mhm.
So the news had already broken out even when I was in the area, and then sure enough, like I come out of the little the hallway or whatever where it's at where I couldn't get service. And sure enough, my phone just starts ringing, blowing up in like, notifications. It started giving me comments and all this and that. And I kept getting text messages. And my brother was the one that officially was the first one on my notification thing
Mm.
saying that Yoshinobu had signed. So that's how I knew it was real. So everything was just coming out. Like, when you get no service and then finally you do, everything just pops up within the time that you had no service. So finally, I ended up getting it. I checked on MLB, and it was right there and then that Yoshinobu had already officially said that he was announcing coming out here to LA.
Yeah, it was insane, man. And then I was able to go to the Shohei press conference. And so, of
Right.
course, I wanted to go to the Yamamoto one also. And so, first I was hearing rumors that it was going to be on Wednesday. It's like, oh, fudge, not Wednesday because I'm on a plane. I was coming back from Florida. And so, I'm like, oh, it looks like it's not, nothing's happening. Nothing's been announced. And then, like, at noon PST, and I'm like on East Coast time. Actually, I was in Texas. I was at the Texas airport, basically, um, and all of a sudden, I get the email, and then all the things are coming out. The press conference like in 3 hours. I'm like, shoot, yeah, I can't. Without I wasn't even gonna watch the thing because I was gonna be in the air. I'd have to pay $8 for Wi-Fi, and I'm a cheapskate. So, and really, the press. Let's be straight up honest. The press conferences are pretty flippin' boring. Um, there's not a lot there. It's more of just be there, make an appearance and everything. But it was like, gosh, short notice like that. It was just kind of a weird thing. But man, the Dodgers spent over $1 billion so far this
On three
offseason. When I'm not,
players.
we haven't talked about Glasnow yet.
And it's crazy though, because wasn't Yamamoto the one that broke the news that he was going to have the press conference?
I don't know
I
because I
believe
was in the air when thing or
because
just kind of at the airport walking around and all or just getting on or getting off the plane. I can't remember now.
I think
Because
it
it was a
was him
stop.
because
I
I
had a
think there was
stopover in Houston, so I had my Kershaw on, had my Dodger hat on, ready to roll, ready to take people on. um, but yeah, so I was just trying to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, we haven't even talked about Glasnow between you and I. Um, what are your thoughts on how that all went down? Starting from the very first rumor broken by Bruce Kuntz. That dude was
hmm
on it. He was on it. That young dude, man, future star, nailed it. But it was about I don't know about 5 days before it actually came about. And when you saw that and heard about it, what were you thinking? Considering our guy Pepio was part of that move.
I was actually pretty stoked about it because You know how I
Oh,
was like mentioning to you that I
yeah.
was so into Glasnow coming to LA. And
Now
this was literally I want to see.
when
Like
did you
last
get
year?
that pic? You had that picture with him, right?
I did actually. So
When was that?
ah, man, that was in 2019. That
Oh
was and
wow.
it's funny and it was funny. So that was 2019 at Dodger Stadium when so Rays were in the town. I think it was like for two game, 3 game series. I can't remember. It was a weekend series and funny that because it was literally Blake Snell's rehab little assignment that day. So
Mm.
he pitched like for 2 innings and then he came out.
Oh,
And then finally after the game, was walking down out to the parking lot and sure enough, a lot of the race players were coming out and sure enough, Glasnow was the one that stopped and was taking pictures with fans.
so they a bunch of the Rays guys were out there to watch their boy, huh?
Hmm.
Well, that's cool. Good for them, man.
And
That's good teammates right there. I think
and,
Dodgers need
and
to do that
sure,
a little bit more, don't you think?
wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, no. So yeah, Glasnow was like signing for kids. He was taking pictures, and all I asked for was a picture because you see this Bigfoot, 6'8" frame
Yeah.
dude at the time, and yeah, I mean, who would have thought that he was gonna be one of those guys that the Dodgers would be looking forward to getting? I mean, and we saw him pitch in the World Series. I mean, there was no doubt about it that he's a pretty good pitcher, number one potential starting opening
Yeah.
day guy. But at the same time, like his problem, obviously, he mentioned his injury and all that stuff, and he was always relying on fastball, so he was getting teed off all the time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, I'm
and
actually excited about it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, my initial thought when it happened was I was like, wait, we're going to give up 5 years of Pepio for 1 year of Glasnow? But then so this is what happened. We're at the press conference for Otani,
right,
and I was hanging out with DMAC and oh Michael Duarte.
oh, I
And
did. Okay, yeah, uh-huh,
yeah, and I look at my phone like Hassan breaks this news. The Dodgers are in talks the trade with the right names, the same ones that Bruce had said like 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. He had that, and then he said, "Yeah, contingent on an extension." Then I'm like, "Oh!" So I showed those guys that, hey, look what's going on. And then I also the hero of the press conference, the guy that asked the only question that mattered at the Otani press conference, like, "What was your dog's name?" Kyle Kraska. I went and introduced
I did
myself
see
to
that.
him, and I go, "Hey, did you see what was going on?" And he, "Oh, holy," So I broke the news to three guys that are way better at this stuff than I am. Um, but yeah, that was really cool. It's like, okay, now this makes sense to me because I wouldn't have given up Pepio 5 years of Pep for
Right.
one. But now you got you got this like you said, a possible ace, possible one,
Hmm.
right? That's it now on the team, and now you got Yamamoto who's supposed to be a one. And then we got Bobby Miller who could be a one, and people are talking about Emmett Sheehan, man, having the best stuff of everybody on the team.
Right.
And then, oh yeah, Walker Bueller is coming too.
But he's gonna be
It
limited.
seems like Walker and Shohei have become workout buddies. Um, yeah. And then we've got all the young guys still, right?
Yeah, no,
The
and it's funny though. So when the news broke out for Glasgow too, I was at the gym working out, and then sure enough, that's when the whole because I was watching the Otani press conference. I think I texted you saying I saw you in that picture where somebody had posted it, and you
yeah.
were with Doug.
Oh yeah. I was
Yeah,
right next to Doug, man, or something like
yeah,
that.
and so sure enough, then the news broke out that Glasgow and all them. So I was at the gym working out, and sure enough, all this stuff was going on. That right after the Otani press conference, then the whole Glasgow thing broke out, and then my thoughts initially were the same thing you were saying that why are we giving up somebody where that's under team control for another 5 years or so for somebody we're only getting for one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was still excited we got Glasgow because
Yeah.
that's an ace right there we needed.
Yeah.
But then on top of that too is like we got somebody for 5 years that we're literally paying the what is it called like not even anything hardly. So we're saving money on
Well,
that.
so a guy here, hepatitis C later says Glasnow getting 25 million when bums like Montas is getting 16 million makes it look like a bargain. It's so true.
It is
Frankie
true, yeah.
Montas, who pitched like one inning or one batter, or something, one inning or one third of an inning for the Yankees, highly questionable in terms of health, getting 16 million, which blew me away. I thought he'd be getting like maybe 2-3 million or something like that. But oh man. And Frankie Montas has good stuff, but he's got, checkered past with a big suspension and also just
Hmm.
being hurt, since 2022, the Yankees got him and he fell apart kind of right away for them, wasn't that good. And then last year couldn't come back. Um, you know, it's just one of those things where the Dodgers really worked this one out. Now Glasnow was really interested in being a Dodger, which is great. Um, and
Yeah,
so
he's a local guy.
yeah, and yeah, and he had a lot of power because the Rays were willing to trade him, and then he said he was open to a contract, but he was able to limit who he would accept, who would even consider, and the Dodgers were obviously one of the few that because let's be honest, if you're Glasnow, are you sitting there going, well, I'm going to commit to Angels or something like that versus no, we got because he could just stay with the Rays, which the Rays obviously know how to handle their pitchers. Angels obviously don't do that good of a job. We saw what happened with Giolito. They kind of
Hmm.
help wreck him, but he somehow landed on his feet. I still can't believe he got 238 the way he ended, but they're paying for what his potential. Um, let's see.
I mean, more so, I think I was more shocked of the fact that Glasnow even got traded first before Dylan Cease or anybody else did. Because remember, Dylan Cease's name was being popped up more than Glasnow at the time. I mean, we were seeing
Yeah,
like Dylan Cease was this, and then all of that, and then I think who else the Dodgers were in on? I forgot. There was another name I'm thinking out there they were going to trade for,
Burns,
or they're still talking.
Corbin
Yeah,
Burns.
so Corbett, yeah, so those names were popping up, and then immediately Glasnow's name just came right out of nowhere, and it I feel like the deal just happened like that. It just happened way too fast.
Well, that's the thing. The Dodgers actually do a really good job of keeping that stuff quiet. Any news that leaks out is from someone else. It's not from the Dodgers. They keep it really tight. I mean, we see that when we try to figure out, what's wrong with someone at Rancho.
Hmm.
Someone's out for all of a sudden vanishes. We don't know what happened to them or anything. Um, but so the Dodgers are really quiet about those things. That's the way they play it. And like I was talking with Casey, everything with them is as close to the they're playing the margins and going, hey, we're not leaking information is one of the things that they're able to do to keep close to the margins with those types of things. So they do what they do. They are they might be the best organization in baseball. I mean, overall, the fact
Hmm.
that they've been in the playoffs every year since 2013, the fact that despite the fact that they win a lot of different, they win all the time and they don't get good draft picks, they still have really good drafts. And their farm
Hmm.
system, they traded their number one and number two during the middle of the 2021 season, and within like 6 months, they were already back in the top five. Um, you know, I mean, my gosh. And right now they're in this place where, wait, they traded. Okay, they went and got two possible aces and the best player in baseball, who also is an ace when he's healthy.
Right, so that's
And
three right there already.
yeah, and all they gave up. Now it's a lot in our opinion, but all they gave up Ryan Pepio and they gave up Johnny DeLuca. And
And don't forget, we also got Jorge Vivas who got traded too, so that's another guy. So maybe at
yeah, but I
most, maybe
mean,
like
but
three,
that was
four.
just that was the cost of creating a roster spot, and it sucks because I love Yorbit. Um, he's definitely one of my favorites. I just hope he gets a real chance over there. But
I'm sure he will.
they didn't have to move much at all to do that, and so they still got almost all of their prospects other than Vivas and DeLuca. So they
Hmm.
lost two. but gained 2 aces and the number 3 hitter.
Seriously.
Let's see. Dodgers Nation. Oh, Dodgers Nation's in the house. Let's see. Killing game. Tim and Trinidad. Freeman needs to wake up this offseason and sign Hader and Teoscar, then trade for C. It's been too long since our last big signing trade. That, I believe, is D-Mac. No, I was texting Doug earlier. I said, I'll be live, man. What's up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac in the house. Everyone welcome Doug into the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, Doug's right there, man. Go watch Doug's segment. It came out earlier today. It's got Teoscar on it. It's got he talks about Ryan Brazier. He talks about Dylan Cease and everything like that. It's one of those. It's one of his best videos because it after that I was going, all right, we don't need Brazier. I keep saying it wrong, and then
Ryan Brazier.
yeah, Ryan Brazier. I make it harder. And then, with Teoscar, it's like, yeah, this makes way too much sense because, before I was after talking with Casey, we were talking, churning, back and forth. And I'd been heading towards this way of going, hey, let's just let the young guys go. Like, you know what? No, let's get Teoscar. That guy is more of a sure thing. He's
right.
All this. So let's talk batting orders real quick. All right. Hey, thanks, Benji. Yeah, thanks for looking at us, seeing us yesterday on Casey's channel. Okay, batting order. You go Dookie Butts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, and if it's a righty on the mound, Max Muncy, then Teoscar. If it's a lefty on the mound, you switch Teoscar and Muncy. If Will Smith, who needs plenty of rest, and of course Austin Barnes will not bat cleanup, you can put Teoscar in that 4 spot against a lefty, or you put Muncy if it's a righty. I mean,
that's true. You can always mix it around, especially with those two guys, because you already know that they got the power and they are consistent with at the plate as well too. They'll draw, they'll make sure that they're getting on base and everything. That's what we talked about Muncy. Even though his batting average was below 200, he was easily his on base percentage was always at a point because he was taking his pitches and he knew exactly like where the strike zone was at.
And let's be honest, you want nothing to do with Max Muncy. You know what I mean? You get when he starts warming up just a little, that dude, he lays that ball, he puts the wood on that ball, man, 450 feet, right? I mean, it's just. Yeah, we're getting the Rosarina stuff. Everyone wants a Rosarina, and I do too, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's going to cost 3 to 4 really good prospects.
I was just about to say it's gonna cost 4 prospects, 2 MLB ready prospects too.
Exactly, right?
So at minimum.
Yeah, versus we can get Teoscar for money.
No, yeah, we could get him technically at like MLB minimum wage, honestly, rather than giving away guys that are under control for the next 6 years.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna get his agent. What's it? Yeah, Rafa Nieves. So he's got. Yeah. So I'm gonna Rafa Nieves he's a MLB _ agent. And there's another one. He's got 2 of them actually, but that's his things. He's got but he definitely has Teoscar Hernandez, which is cool. And so getting someone like him, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and so yeah, he was with Wasserman before. Rafa Nieves was with Wasserman before, and got his own new thing going, which is cool. Good for him. Yeah, I've interacted with him a few times on Twitter. He loves the Dodgers, man. So I don't think that hurts having his agent being a Dodger fan. Yeah. See, I think.
And then again, to this,
Doug says it right here. Teoscar, future Dodgers NLCS MVP. That you know what? He's another one of those guys. At least we saw him against the Mariners in 2022. Man, he took what's it? Robbie Ray, currently now a
Oh yeah, it took
Giant,
him deep.
took him deep. So I don't think I don't think the stage is too big for him. I think you get some of a Rosarena, but we don't have to give up 4 prospects because at the end of the day, it's good to have those prospects to go, hey, we really do need to trade for Dylan Cease, or we do need to trade for Corbin Burns. Or I said it, no one likes this. It's late July and we're not getting production from right field. Let's say that Jay Hay ain't doing his
It's
thing.
not
He
cutting
goes
it.
back to being a Cub, and you go, well, why don't we just do this? But our pitching's good, and the Yankees aren't doing well for 3 months. Go freaking get Juan Soto, put him in left, put Teoscar in right, and just go. Soto's going to be a Dodger for 3 months. We're going to let him go afterwards. Shoot that prospect wad on that. You get because Juan Soto, people go, he gets tarnished because he was a Padre. Let's not forget that dude was prime time in 2019.
Yeah, when
That dude
he was
did
like
not
20
shrink
years
under the
old.
lights, and he was what, 20 years old?
Yeah, he shined bright, and especially when the lights got really bright in the postseason for him in 2019. That's for
See,
sure.
I'm already seeing Soto lots of laughs. Think about it, folks. Forget about him being a Padre. Forget about what is a Padre. That Padre thing's a freaking mess. But just to have the ammunition to go, we can get whoever we want. That's the most important. It can be a Soto, it could be a Dylan Cease, it could be a Corbin Burns, whoever you need. Soto will
And
not be available
don't
under
even
any
forget,
circumstances. That is not true. I guarantee that.
if it doesn't work out in New York, it's gonna for sure happen. It's gonna for
Yeah,
sure happen. That's a for sure given.
the Yankees are you never. The Yankees could be really good. And we may be facing him in the World Series. But let's see.
That's
DN
true.
says after the Dodgers sign Teoscar, Miguel Vargas will finally have the supporting cast and needs to lead his team to a World Series. The only question is, where does Miggy play?
That is true because he's only touched second base in MLB and maybe left field like when he first got called up, anyways.
He's never
So
played third in MLB.
no, yeah, I'm talking about left field though because when he
I
first
know.
came up, he played left
Yeah,
field.
he
I
played
mean,
a
well,
little bit
then
there.
again,
Yeah. So who knows with that? And then there's still I'm serious about Soto, man. I'd take you guys got to forget the whole Soto thing, and you're only trading him for him for 3 months. You're just making a run. That's
hmm
all I'm talking about. I don't want him long term because he's a DH long term. We have a DH. His name is Shohei Otani. I yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
only thing I see now, I think the Dodgers are more focused right now on pitching as well too, aside from the Teoscar Hernandez thing.
Hmm.
And I saw Doug's uh live stream where he talks about Shane Bieber. Also, remember, I don't know if you heard about that one too, about Shane Bieber possibly. Dodgers been talking about him as well too.
Yeah, I'm not high on Bieber at all because I think he's broken. I mean,
Me,
he missed 60, he was on the 60-day IL with elbow issues. Like,
no, yeah,
I,
and then my thing is like if the Dodgers try to make a run, I mean, probably they're asking. You know how Dodgers are, like you said, they're very sneaky when it comes to picking up guys off, off the market as well too, especially when it comes to trades. So let's say, for example, they're probably just talking to the Guardians right now, saying like, "Hey, what's it what's it worth to get Shane Bieber?" And they are asking for too much because the Guardians are
yeah,
barely probably going to ask for a lot for him as well too right now. So,
I
but
don't
let's
think
just say for
I don't think I don't think I don't think I think it's one of those things where it's like the whole, hey, let's put Class A in that mix. That's when it starts making things, um,
more
you
interesting.
know, yeah, that's where it gets interesting. Yeah, Bieber has Montas written all over him. That's what Hepatitis C later says. Yeah, the cost should be low for Bieber, but it's not you go, oh my gosh, we're going to um have See, everyone's thinking everyone knows what's happening. They're going, "Oh, the Yankees will never give up Soto." Y'all don't know that. It's 6 months, 7 months away. No one knows that. Speculate, dream, man. Who'd have thought the Dodgers give who they got? Imagine this offseason. Got to think big. And that's what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers always think big. I think that's what one of the things we don't remember, we don't recall
I
is the
mean, we all
Dodgers.
even speculated that
Yeah,
it was going to go big or go home anyways for the Dodgers this offseason. Even Doug called it at the very first video when everybody saw that how much they offered for Aaron Nola. We've said it multiple times. When that number hit our screens on our phones, how much they
yeah,
offered him, that's already setting the tone that they were serious on what they were going to go for this offseason anyways.
yeah. I thought, oh, it's probably going to be in my head, way out of the, just thinking about, wow, that seems like the highest number would be 600 million, and it would be like for 12 years. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just, but it came 10 at 700. Holy smokes! But then you saw, him doing
The
the deferrals, and you saw how much he wants to win, because it wasn't just the Dodgers that had that offer. It was the
oh
the
yeah, it was the Blue
Giants.
Jays.
Yeah, Giants, Blue Jays, and Angels had it, and two of the other teams said we'll do it. Angels were the only ones that wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah, I think they were. I think they backed off on certain. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there was something out there that I read that they said the reason they backed off too because they weren't in it with the deferrals or something like that, or I don't know what it was. It was something that they didn't
yeah, they
agree
didn't want
with
to do the
the
deferrals.
fact that
Well, yeah,
yeah.
because I
So
think though, I think that I think what's going on with the Angels, well, first of all, their owner's in the way, and so no matter who's running that team, it won't matter. Regretfully,
mhm. Right.
right?
I mean,
So
I think at this point they should sell the Angels rather than giving up selling the freaking the Oakland A's.
well, they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to make. He was supposed to sell, and then he backed out.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and I feel bad, for our guy Ryan, right? And Pete Soto. But did you ever meet Pete at Rancho? The guy with the
I met him a
camera?
couple times. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an Angels fan, and I feel bad for those guys. Those are good fans, man. They're hardcore, and they're just. It's kind of like poor. Feel bad for the Padre fan. I got a lot of Padre fans that are friends, and they're real fans. They're not. Oh, I have my brand new Padre Brown jersey. No, man, they got the old freaking Tim Flannery jerseys and
The
the Ken
pinstripes.
Caminiti jerseys and stuff like that. They're the real ones, right? And I feel bad for them with Preller, kind of being a drunken sailor out there. Um, Someone asked this question: Hater or Teoscar?
Oh,
How about
it's got to be
what?
Teoscar.
How about both?
That too, but I mean, if it comes down to it, I mean, I'm taking Teoscar if it had to be either or.
Roy says I'm 100% wrong. Okay, Roy, you're the prognosticator. Well, let's see. Now we'll never know if the Yankees are good, but if they aren't good, we'll see. We will see, because the Yankees are in such bad shape, having gone through what they've gone through, man. Yeah, and someone said it before. I think it was hepatitis C later. They traded Chapman to the Cubs and got him back, because if you trade him to the Dodgers are not going to keep him.
Yeah, they're not
That
going to
we
sign on.
know. There's no way they're going to re-sign him for a long time. But and it may not be the Dodgers. It could be someone else. But yeah, never say never, because who would have thought the Nationals would have traded a 23-year-old Juan Soto, and then less than 2 years later, the Padres are trading him again. Like, oh
I mean,
my,
that's the thing though too. I think the Padres even then, what they gave up for him, I mean, they didn't even getting any of that back. I think they probably got like what two pitching prospects at most.
yeah. I mean, they got quantity. I'm not sure they got how much quality they got. When the Nationals, though, they got quantity and quality.
Quality. Yeah, they got like six prospects, all their top like prospects for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So. You guys are people that know the future. It's awesome, man. Back to orthodoxy. Woo! I'm into orthodoxy. I'm just not one. What's likely to Dodgers get Jesus Luzardo? Probably really low, but I think it
I don't
depends,
see
right?
it.
If they
Yeah, I
get
don't see it.
I think if they get hurt, and, if the Dodgers get a lot of guys hurt, they'll have to go all in because I think it's going to cost a lot to get Jesus Luzardo, man. Dodgers need to
Especially
do. Yeah, Mike Ham says Dodgers need to deal. I'd like to steal some guys too. Deal Stone, Vesia, Grove, Gonsolin, and Bush.
well,
I
Gonzalez
think
for
they
sure
have
might
to
not
trade.
happen.
I think they got to trade some of the guys. You can't keep
Hmm.
them all. It's not fair. Let's see. I think Rendon would eat his words. Oh, because people talk about package Rendon with Trout, but I love I love me some Mike Trout, but I think I he gets hurt every year, man.
That is true.
And can you imagine them trading Mike Trout after this? I mean, they might as well because it's that bad. Um, let's see. Right, feel brilliant. I know Padre fans that don't even know who Roberto Alomar was. Yeah, hey, you're Roberto Alomar,
They're all
man.
Mark.
You know the Padres. Oh man. So I was, I'm dead in San Diego. Had in San Diego right when that stuff going down with the Padres, and they've done this every year. They had Jack McKeon, Trader Jack was their GM, and he just couldn't keep. He couldn't. He just couldn't keep his hands off the team because he had just made a big trade with Cleveland where he traded Sandy Alomar and a couple other players for Joe Carter. And
Hmm.
that was after 89. Yeah, so going in 1990, no. Yeah, going in 1990, they had Joe Carter. And they had Robbie Alomar. He came up through their system. And Robbie was good. You could see that he was really good. But they had
Right.
just traded his brother Sandy. And then Alomar Sr. was a coach with the Padres. So they had kind of a big family affair though. Sandy Alomar Sr., who had played with the Angels a long time ago. And
Right.
then they traded Robbie Alomar and Joe Carter to the Jays for Tony Fernandez, who was at the time was one of the best shortstops in baseball, and frickin' Fred Crime Dog McGriff. So I
Very
mean,
great.
so you got two Hall of Famers in that trade going
Right.
back and forth, right? You got Robbie and Freddie. Those are, I mean, all good, but at the end of the day, the Jays won the trade because a couple years later, Joe Carter hits that game-winning home run in the
In the World
game
Series.
6 against the Phillies against Mitch Williams. And then the Padres, man, in '93 they unloaded everybody. In '92 they had a really good team, and then they faded. They were actually fun to watch at that time. They were really fun to watch. But then they traded the Crime Dog to the Braves. Really got nothing back.
Right.
But they also had Gary Sheffield on the team. And they traded Gary
That's right.
Sheffield to the Marlins. Do you know who they got back in that trade?
This was in 90.
93.
No, I don't know who they got back in that.
I don't remember the other guy. One of the guys they got back, Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, wow. Their
Yeah,
best
because
closer.
he had the Marlins had drafted Trevor Hoffman from the Reds in the expansion draft.
Hmm.
I think I actually have a baseball card of Trevor Hoffman in a Marlins uniform because I used to collect back then. And so, yeah, so we're talking some really good players going around. I think Chef should be in the Hall of Fame. So, but the Padres kept buying and selling. Then a couple years later, they sold their team. They made a huge trade with Houston. They got both Ken Caminiti and Steve Finley and it was
Hmm.
like a 6-for-3 trade, huge trade. Ken Caminiti was a beast, man. I know that he did have steroids and ended up dying of a drug OD. But the guy that helped me get in shape played high school ball with him. So my buddy
Mm.
Dr. Jim Nichols in Arizona, college buddy of mine, still buddies, one of my best friends. Yeah, My buddy Jim was third base. Caminiti was a shortstop up in Stockton. I think it was Stockton.
Oh
And
wow.
at least yeah, when my buddy was he was a year behind Caminiti, but
It's
yeah,
funny though because my dad would tell me about Cam Caminiti a lot. That's how I know him.
he was one of my favorite players. I got to be honest with you. He just he so he took roids, but you know why? The dude was broken. I mean, that dude, he was so broken. He played that 1998 season. He was just dead. His body was dead. Um,
Yeah, breaking down.
oh yeah, he played so hard. And Steve Finley, remember Dodger, great, right? He hit that grand
Yeah,
slam against the Gigantes to
to go to the playoffs,
yeah, clinch the division
clinch the division.
2004. Yeah,
Hmm. That '04 team is still crazy to think, man.
yeah. Mikey Kim asked, wasn't Ken Caminiti a teammate of Daryl Kyle? I'm not sure. I can't remember, but they both died of overdoses of some
OD.
type.
Hmm.
Yeah, Daryl. I don't know what I can't. I thought it was just weed with Daryl Cobb. There must have been something else going on. Um, let's see. Yeah, yeah. Dodge fan for life says sign Tommy Pham. Doug uncovered something that Tommy Pham said a few weeks ago with John Heyman,
Hmm.
and Tommy said it was more important for him to have playing time than to win.
I think I did see that. I think I do remember him saying that. I think it was around the time when it was the winter meetings. I think it was
Yeah,
during the winter meetings.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
need to
think I
hear it
remember that.
myself, but I believe Doug, of course, because it was on his show. So go watch Doug's show after this, of course. But I think that disqualifies Tommy Pham from being on the Dodgers. I just think they're not going to sign him. If by
Yeah, I'd
saying
be
that,
shocked if he
that
does.
says everything. And Max Muncy said we got rid of some of the guys that were playing for themselves.
Right.
That was another article on DN. It was one of those shows, um, a show that I actually watched. I missed that part, but they're not going to go. And I think that's probably I'm going to just speculate because there was a certain player on the Dodgers
Hmm.
that kept playing even though he was hurt and we didn't know about it, but he got an extra 1.5 million for playing left
I
field,
remember that.
left fielder.
Ah.
Uh
Hmm.
huh. So you this is and that I think that cost the team. Kike should have been playing out there. Um, because he could still hit even though he was hurt, but at least he could still hit. Um,
Speaking of
yeah,
Kike,
so
are Dodgers still rumored to go in after him?
I still hope so because I think we need the versatility still. I think when and Casey really put it in good words yesterday. He says the most valuable commodity the Dodgers have is roster spots because you've got only four spots on the bench. And by having guys like Taylor and Kike and even Mookie being able to
Right.
play different positions, it really helps a lot. It makes your bench seem a lot bigger. And
Oh yeah.
I got to be honest, Taylor was a lot better once Kike got there
Oh yeah. Definitely. I could agree with you on that one too.
because it let Taylor be Taylor. And Kike kind of took a lot of the at bats in left field, in that platoon instead of Taylor, and it was like I don't know. I don't know if it's coincidental or maybe Taylor had been hurt. Who knows, right? Um, let's see. Please, Friedman, don't trade for Kenley. Amen. I love Kenley Jansen. I don't want him back.
Yeah. I think his time in LA was already done for after 2018 anyways.
Yeah, it got rough for him.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he did have a great bounce back year in 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, but that was because remember we talked about it. He developed that fourth pitch. He wasn't relying on his cutter anymore.
yeah. Well, it's weird. His velocity. He's one of the weirdest pitchers I've ever seen. I think it's very emotional for him, and I think he did get some help on that.
Hmm.
Um, It looks like because I mean, remember with the Dodgers, he sometimes he come in, he's throwing 90,
And
and
then
then
he
there's
threw
other times he's
94 like
coming
later.
in, yeah, throwing 94, just inconsistent with the same pitch.
Hmm.
Then all of a sudden he goes to last year with the
But
Red Sox, he hit 97 a few times. Ho! Back to orthodoxy with the super chat. Gracias. That will go to World Vision. That's who we're sponsoring in January. All revenue goes to World Vision. In December, it all is going to. I'm still waiting for everything to come through. Nothing's come through yet. That all goes to St. Jude's Children's Research.
there you go.
So we'll do World Vision this month, and then but thanks back to Orthodoxy. So let's definitely read this one. We need a right-handed bat. Who to give up for Randy A? Okay,
So that'll be a
let's.
good one. Let's see. Who would he actually want be willing to give up?
Well, yeah, I think you said it right. There's definitely two guys that's got to be major league ready. So
And I'm
let's.
pretty sure they're going to be pitchers anyway. So let's just say, for example, Gavin Stone would be on my radar. Gavin Stone and maybe trying to just think out of the top of my head.
What about Bush?
Uh who
Michael Bush.
would probably be the hitter. So that's your two major league ready players. And then if as
Yeah.
far as probably top 10 prospects or on the prospect list, I would probably have to be there'll probably be another two pitchers probably.
Yeah, I mean, who do I want to give up? I want to give up Alex Vesia, Caleb Ferguson, Yancey Almonte, and Austin Barnes. Who we're going to have to give up is going to be someone like, Gavin Stone. I think it's going to have to be Dalton.
Dalton Rushing.
I think Dalton's got to be, they're going to want that. And
Either
someone
that
like
or
Michael
Diego maybe.
Bush, and then someone like probably Kyle Hurt, which I think losing Kyle Hurt, I think he is one of those guys that's going to contribute a ton this
This
year.
upcoming year.
Yeah, in fact, Kevin, his dad came in the chat last night with Casey. So
Oh, nice.
we were talking with him. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Hurt showed so much last year. He's
Well,
come so far. It's so I'm really, let's see. Okay, someone says Stone, Grove, Vargas, Cartaya, Bush for Randy. That might
wait, Grove, Stone,
Yeah, Grove,
Bush, and
Stone, Vargas, Cartaya, Bush. It's a lot, but
that's five.
it's
I mean,
gonna be something like that. It's
it has to be.
it's gonna hurt really bad.
Although with the Cartaya one, I feel like that probably might be the only iffy one because we don't know how highly the Dodgers are still on having trust on him, contributing moving forward in the organization anyways. Even
Yeah,
though he'd have a bad last season, I feel like the Dodgers are still gonna keep their hands on him for a while until, they know for a fact that they could probably move him.
yeah. I think well, Diego was one of he showed a bit that going from high A to double A is a huge jump, and
Well, we
it was
talked about it. It was a lot of pressure too. They hyped him
yeah.
up a lot.
Yeah, Casey said the same thing. I mean, you were saying it before too. Way too much shine on him.
Hmm.
Let's see. Also, when is the Kershaw signing going to be announced? Can't let him go to Texas. I believe that will be. I believe he will come back to the Dodgers. Just no
It's gonna be
inside
last
info.
minute.
No
It's gonna be
inside
last
info.
minute.
Yeah, last minute before spring training, so they could put him right, or right at spring training, so they could put him right on the 60-day injured
Hmm.
list. Is what I'm thinking. And I think they might do that. Maybe they get Brandon Woodruff the same way.
That's what I was gonna say. The exact same thing because he's still free agent still, right?
Yeah, 2-year
Yeah.
contract for him, please, because he's going to miss most. He's going to probably miss the whole year. Yeah. So King Yellowman, I think I agree. Says I think Trout is more of a DH, though. I think it's going to come quick for him. So one of the
Hmm.
problems, and we've spoken about this, but Trout's a big boy,
Oh,
and
he's always been a big boy, and then his
and
body
and
is
and he's not
starting.
fat. He's
Mm-mm.
he he's a house, and
He's a
and
defensive lineman.
yeah. Yeah, he's got that. He actually has that. If you put some fat on him, he would be a defensive lineman. But he's not fat. He's ripped. But
Hmm.
he's got that. He's like freaking Reacher, right? The new Reacher, not Tom Cruise
Right.
Reacher. He's a big house man like the Reacher guy. And that's a lot of weight you're putting on your legs.
Hmm.
Happened with Albert. Just there's too much weight on those legs because they're just big men. and going out. Even you think, oh, but they're just standing around. But think about this: you're going in and out. You're running back and forth.
Yep.
You're always on. You're always on your feet. You're moving a lot. You're moving all the time. Even though people go, like, "Oh, you're just standing." No, you're not. Every pitch, you're doing something.
Well, not
You're
even that. People have to understand though, center field is the main outfield position where you're doing most of the running rather than your corner outfielders, anyways, because you're covering the most ground out of them, and you're taking over, a lot, you taking the ball away from these guys because you're the leader out there. That's for sure.
yeah. And even if they move him to left, it's still going to be a lot on him. Yeah. And King Yellow Man, his back being heavy, whether you're ripped or you're fat, your back is the one thing that takes it the most. Your back
Hmm.
and your feet, your lower half. It's just start with the back and just start going down, man. With Albert, it was his feet.
Yeah, it was his. I think it started with the shin splints, and then after that, it just developed more with time.
Yeah, and his feet just are nothing, right? So Mr.
Hmm.
Classic, he kind of nails this one. The Rays will absolutely fleece Friedman for Randy. Yeah, Randy, that's true. Look at Glasnow deal. It wasn't a fleece for Friedman, but it was a good trade. I think the Glasnow trade was pretty even. It was
Hmm.
for both sides. It works really well, and so and the Rays are they're a tough team to fleece. But I
That is
think
true.
Friedman is going to have to be willing to get fleeced. He's going to have to overpay if he wants Randy. That's what I
Well,
think.
knowing the Rays though, you have to understand the Rays are more of a prospect type of team than it is like trading for MLB guys as well too.
Yeah. Well, they want him. They need him cheap, and Randy's only getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Hepatitis C later says, and I agree with this. Trout is loyal to an owner that doesn't care at all. I think he does care, but he's too controlling to not. He didn't let people do their job, which is a tough. That's bad leadership.
Hmm.
That's the problem. It's just bad leadership. I struggle with that. I got to be honest with you. At work, I sometimes you just got to let people do their thing, and he's not letting people do their thing. And what he really needs to get out of the way because he's going to keep losing good people. You know
That's the
the
thing though too, and you have to understand too. Like as far as he goes, like I think who was it that said it in in the chat that said that he's more of a DH now because you still have all those outfielders. You have Joe Adell, who's obviously going to be who's obviously a starting center fielder. Then they had what's his name that took over for him when he was out for technically the whole season. I'm trying to think of his name. He came from the Phillies.
the first pick guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Yeah,
his name.
San
I
Diego
don't.
guy too, man. La Costa Canyon. Gosh darn it. I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so
2016
him.
number one pick.
Yeah, so he's another one. He did really well for them. But then, that's what I'm saying. If Mike Trout comes back, they're going to put him out in the outfield and take a lot of these guys' spots only because it's Mike Trout.
Yeah, and I mean Trout was still really good last year. I mean when he played, it should, you know, it's just one of those things, right? Moniak, yep, Mickey Moniak. That's it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, there you go.
Hepatitis. Thank
Yeah,
you, Mikey Kim.
appreciate that.
Mikey Kim writes, "The Rays are like Bill Clinton. They like him young."
Oh, wow.
Cha-ching! Hello. Someone been reading the news. Um, Thank you, Mikey, for that. If I had a bell like Clint or something like that, I'd ring it for you. Or Doug. He has the
The hot take or
fire
whatever they're
room or
calling
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, even then, I mean, honestly, like that's the thing with like, it's true though. Mike Trout's only going to be loyal to guys that don't care anymore, honestly.
Yeah, it's weird. I think so. Mr. Seabad says, I question Trout's eagerness to win. His loyalty to mediocre organization is getting old. Trout needs to move on. I think so. I'm going to talk a little bit about about Trout just for a second, just a little reminder. So a few years ago, Mike Trout's best friend and brother-in-law killed himself. Right.
Mike Trout's. You said?
His best friend and brother-in-law. So his wife's
Mm.
brother, his best friend, deleted himself. Little self-delete.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think that changed everything for him. He had his little
Mm.
boy a couple years later. I can't remember the son's first name, but it's the same name as
Beckham.
his Beckham. Yeah, somehow I think his middle name or something like that is his best friend's name, something like that. There's something about it, or same initials, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but something that's his guy. I think that changed everything for him and changed his
Hmm.
priorities. Um, and so I think for him, that did rock his world, obviously, um, and his wife's world. I mean, both of them were impacted so much by that I'm just saying he probably is just thinking, I'm here in Newport Beach, almost next door neighbors to Scott Boras, near Kobe's family and stuff like that. I've got it pretty good. Um, I don't want to mess with that, and
Hmm.
I'm just going to stay here because I don't care about anything else other than I want to go out. I want to be a good baseball player, but I got my family and this is what's important. And if that's his attitude, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Um, and I can't fault a man for for his
Family
decisions.
first.
It's like Corey Seager. Yeah, he got more money. I think he wanted to go to Texas. I just do. Um, and
Well,
I
not
think
even that. I
he's
think they mentioned it to him that they came to him and told him that he was going to be the face of the franchise. So
yeah. Well,
that they put all the trust on him.
he got the money. He got all that stuff. Um, and he's a country boy, and and I got to be. I'm actually going to be in Texas next weekend. Um, I get the vibe in Texas. It's a different vibe. I'm just straight up, people. I know most of us are Southern Californians. People in Texas are far nicer. Every time you go to a restaurant or you go to fast food or whatever, you are treated so much better than you are here. You go anywhere and everyone is so much more polite. Just that level of things. And I'm just being straight up with it. Now the weather here is way better. And for me, we got all of us. We got three major league teams within 120 miles. But
That is
that's
true.
just the way. I'm just he like Texas is fine. My son made a choice to live there. He loves it. He absolutely, despite the weather. It and it's I look forward to going out there, but that's just the way it is. You ever been to Texas, NS? It's pretty cool. I like it's kind of interesting though, if you go out there, half the restaurants have the big Texas star or big state as part of their logo, and everything's bigger in Texas. It's different. It's a different vibe, and it's a nice vibe. Um, I might live out there eventually, but that's follow wherever my kids are at the end of the day. Texas is nice though, man. My son's in Austin. Corey's playing where Kershaw lives, and Kershaw lives there in the off season. He loves it there. That's just I'm there. It's just it's a great place. It's not. I still am here though for many reasons. United States of Texas. It is very true. They they really do think yeah, Whataburger's not better. No, it's not. Um the good thing is like in near my son's house or place where he lives in Austin, there's In and Out close by. And because I actually I think I have an In and Out from Texas also. I make sure I always get the latest In and Out, sure, with Texas and California now. And Arizona sometimes with spring training, right? Um,
Oh, that's right.
Texas has In and Outs, King Yellow, man. And
It's only four. Well, now they're expanding, but yeah, at the
yeah,
time
they're
it was.
they're they're all over, yeah, all over there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, San Diego, right. Judge and Trey turned them down. Yeah. Trey wanted to go to the East Coast. Who knows why, but he likes the East Coast. That's his thing.
Oh,
And
we know why. A given.
yeah, it's his family's back there, which I can't fault the man. And then Judge was always going back to the Yankees. Let's be honest. Come on. He was
I
just
think
playing
he
he
for
played
sure.
everybody.
Yeah, I
Let's
think he
see.
for sure played the Giants for sure.
Yeah, back to orthodoxy. Idaho just got its first in and out last month. That's true. And then let's see. Nashville is supposed to get one, but
They are getting one.
they're building all their infrastructure first. The way so I could talk for hours about In and Out. I could probably start a channel and fill content with In and Out. I love In and Out. It is, in my opinion, it is the best business, well-run business that I've ever seen. If I knowing what I know now, if I because I was in San Diego before they had In and Out in San Diego, and I didn't get to try In and Out till like 1984, so I was about 20. Yes, I'm old, but um, knowing what I know now, man, I would have gotten me a job at In and Out at a young age, and I would have stayed there, and I'd still be working there because like now I'm a software architect. I'm relatively I have a small pretty good um good career. But if I wanted to go work at the same job at In and Out, guess what? I have to start at the very bottom. No
Hmm.
one comes in. You could be Warren Buffett, and you're starting as an associate, clean the toilet guy. You start
I
at the
could tell you that.
bottom. You start at the bottom. Yeah.
Man, if I would have heard you saying this, Tim, man, I would have told my when I was used to work there, I'd be like, man, give this guy a free burger.
No, I mean it's just one of those things where no, it's a well-run organization, and the fact that they sponsor um, the Pomona drag strip makes me so happy. And then they even actually were the sponsor of the race in November there, so it was the In and Out Burger World Finals at the In and Out racetrack. Tons of In and Out trucks there, tons of In and Out gear. I got me like three different shirts, three different hats, got me a lanyard. Man, I got it. I just nailed it, man. Um, yeah,
I think they even sponsored the Dodgers still. I think.
that's my only team, man. Remember when SD tried to trade for Mook? Yeah, that was a joke, wasn't it? They had no chance. Um, let's see. Let's see. When will San Diego River Ryan back for Kim?
What?
You know, the Padres, man. Let's talk about them for a second. I just love to talk about them because it's just they're so silly. Um, they went and I've talked about this. They signed Bogarts
Hmm.
for didn't match. They gave an extension to a 35-year-old Darvish, even though he had another year on his contract. Gave him 5 more years, so 6 years total. And then they signed Cronenworth, who was 30 years old, 3 years away from free agency, to a 7-year contract.
Not
And
even that. Then
then,
they renegotiated Manny Machado's contract.
yeah, well, and I get that because he was actually had a he's a great player, even though he might be he might be injured. Um, but they did all that, but the best hitter on their team was Soto, and they didn't leave any room for him, so they had to trade him. Now Kim can opt out after this year and be a free agent. Or
Oh,
not
will they
his
though?
well, yeah, his contract, even though he hasn't been in the Major League Baseball for 6 years, um, he is still he can be a free agent after his contract. And so they have to deal with that. And he was let's be honest, he probably their best player other than Soto. And well, Soto doesn't play defense, but Kim's defense he's probably the best defender in baseball or very close to it. And
Mm-hmm.
um, then offensively he became a pretty decent player. So
Right.
he was probably second in WAR on the team. First or probably I think Soto passed him at the end, but man, they really yeah. They're one thing they should be doing is making sure they keep Mr. Hassan Kim. If not, oh boy, it's gonna be hilarious if they lose him.
Well, not even
Um,
that, because you have to think about it too. Who knows what they're gonna do this upcoming year? Did you see the rumors are they're trying to probably call up Jackson Merrill and their top pitching, their young catching prospect,
yeah, they won't do that with
some
the kid.
distant this year.
He struggled at Double A. He's 18, man. Salas, Ethan
Yeah,
Salas.
Ethan Salas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be careful with that stuff. But it's probably going to be, um, they're probably going to end up trading him anyway for some stupid trade. Um,
Who knows what they'll do with those kids?
yeah. Like I tell my San Diego friends, hey man, go up to Elsinore to watch the guys that are going to get traded. It's about what it is. Yeah, they're
Hmm.
a mess. But back to the Dodgers a little bit. I mean, Hepatitis talking about Darvish with the whole Sasaki thing. Darvish thought everyone was going to come to San Diego. He signed. He thought, I think Darvish is pissed at Preller, and he should be. There was another thing. Rest in peace to Peter Seidler. Absolutely. San Diego loved him. Preller did not serve him well.
Oh yeah.
Um, he just a mistake. Um, so let's see, Korea series against Dodgers. Kim will stay, but that's for 2024. After 2024, who knows, right? Yeah, Soto. I think Soto's a Met or a Philly or a Yankee, or I'm gonna throw it out there, or a National.
Going back.
Because guess what? They're going to be pretty darn good. They got the best of the Padre farm system. They got two
Yep.
of the Dodgers' top guys, and they're all pretty darn good so far. Everyone's kind of working out in their favor over there.
You don't think
Yeah,
some? Well, I mean, obviously he's got to regret not signing that $440 million contract, that extension they tried to give him at the time.
yeah. Well, it's still wondering, if he made a mistake with that one.
I
Because
mean, in a way, I would say, I mean, who wouldn't want to take that kind of crazy money, anyways?
yeah, if he didn't have Boris, he probably takes it. But at the same time, let's just say it works out where, let's say you're the Nationals, right? And so you
Hmm.
trade him and you repopulate your team,
Right.
and then you get Soto back as the final piece. So
That
yeah,
would be
he's gone
crazy.
2.5 years. He's gone 2.5 years, but he comes back, and now he's your established star, and he's got a great supporting cast with him now. It'd be
That
kind of
is true.
funny. It'd be kind of funny to watch that. Um, I'm just speculating, but yeah, I think Phillies, Mets, Yankees, maybe the Nationals. I think he's another guy that likes the East Coast.
I
Um,
mean, I wouldn't doubt if he probably even signs a big time deal with the Mets, anyways.
here's an interesting one. I like this one from Right Field Pavilion. My friend is very close to Preller. Okay, after the All Star break, Preller told my buddy he thought he was going to be fired. I'm just shocked he wasn't. Yeah, me too. Seems like he should have been. Does your friend play 2 a.m. basketball with him? Is the question. Um, yeah, I mean the Dodgers should have no interest in Soto for free agency after next year. There's no need to do that. They spent, and he might get 500 to 600 million. I don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't doubt he just gets like in the 300 range, mid 300s maybe.
I think the guy needs to take better care of himself. He needs to be in the
Yeah.
weight. He needs to hit the weights with you, man. He need to get that, reduce those snacks. Or he's going to turn to Jock Peterson. I'm serious. Jock Peterson looks like I did about 5 years ago, with a lot of extra in here and things like that. The face gets fatter. Like, dude.
Fluffy.
Yeah, no, there was people during 2020, during some of the World Series that didn't really they follow baseball only like at the end of the season, in the World Series and all that. They're going,
Right.
and this is when I was a lot bigger. They're going, Jock looks like you. Dead serious. That's what they said. And
I mean, I did see it in the
that's kind of
pandemic
an
here.
insult to Jock. Yeah, he did get Jock did not trying to get thick, King Yellow Man. He is thick. He needs to
Even
go
in the
drop.
2020 World Series, he you could start seeing that he
Uh
was
huh.
starting to get big already.
Yeah, yeah. Him and Muncie need to go on a diet. They should between them they should lose 60 pounds at least before spring training. Um, yeah, Dodgers don't need any more left-handed hitters, right? Yeah, set left-handed. Yeah, the Dodger lineup right now is just loaded with lefties. It's going to be really good against righties. And then, at the same time, how bad is Freddie against lefties? It really doesn't impact him that much. How bad is Otani against lefties? It really doesn't impact him that much.
Yeah,
Mookie's
no,
probably
I
worse
mean,
against lefties than those guys. Mookie's for some reason comes to the Dodgers and all of a sudden forgets to
how to hit
hit
left-handers.
lefties. It's in the water or something, or maybe it's in the soft serve ice cream. I have no idea. Hepatitis See You Later says 2023 Jock, 2015 Jock. Yes.
That
Oh,
is true. I remember
Zoom.
2015 Jock.
This is a Zoom says, and this kind of touches on the Yamamoto thing, but I think there's a lot of truth to this. Yankees can't give Soto a bigger contract than Judge. It will hurt his ego. Remember, that was the thing with the Yankees allegedly couldn't give Yamamoto a bigger contract than Garrett Cole. Now,
That's
if
true.
Garrett, and now the question would be, is that the Yankees making that decision, or is that Garrett Cole going, how you better not do that? Because if Judge or Garrett Cole are going, you better not do that, F those guys,
Yeah.
right? You don't see that from Mookie.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know,
I mean, I just think those guys are just, yeah, it could, it's for sure probably that the fact their ego was going to get in the way of being like, why is this guy getting paid more than I am, kind of thing.
yeah, Mookie's going, oh, I got some spotlight off of me, and
Hmm.
and now I've
The
got
pressure's off.
I got more guys that probably want to be on my podcast with a translator, of
Yeah.
course. Um, oh, Scott Strong, if Juan Soto makes less than 370 in free agency, he won't. Then he should have taken 15-year extension from Nationals. Also, he didn't want their deferred money. Right. Yeah, the Nationals are kings of deferred money. Well, until now. But like when they signed Scherzer back in
Hmm.
at between 2014 and 2015, 50% of his contract was deferred.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. So his annual average value wasn't 30 million, it was less than that. Um Jock equals Cartman from South Park. Oh gosh. except not racist.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that too.
Cartman's so freaking funny. Cartman used to be the man. Now can't even watch South Park unless you got what Paramount Plus or something like that.
Hmm.
Dumb. Show you taking less pressure off of Mookie. It's right. I agree.
Yeah.
Helps. It will help him in the playoffs.
Well,
Scott
it's gonna take all
Strong.
the pressure off these guys, anyways.
I know it's gonna. Yeah, yeah. George Costanza. Yankees need George Costanza back in the front office. No kidding. I mean, Jock looks like. Wait. Hold on. Oh, another Jock joke. I love Jock though, but Jock looks like James Harden trying to get out of Houston. Oh yeah, man. Harden. Jeez. Harden's another guy, right? Like
Hmm.
I would know, and I just don't. Some of those guys you just don't want a part of. I like Jock. I take Jock back, but I don't know what role. I mean, he really can't field anymore. I don't want this done, but could the Dodgers be waiting next year to throw the bag for Juan Soto? No, no. The
Yeah,
only the
definitely
only thing
not.
that would ever happen is if it was even possible, and would be for them to trade for him, but let him go as a free agent after the season. But there's no way they're going to give Juan Soto that money. It's nothing against Juan Soto. It's because they have Shohei Otani, and they're not going to go give another 500 to 600 million dollar contract to to another guy. Yeah, they don't need to. They're set now. You know, you look at it, you go, well, let's see Shohei ain't going anywhere for 10 years. Mookie's not going anywhere for 10 years. Um, Freddie's here another 4. Yamamoto's here for 12. You know, Bobby Miller's here
Yeah,
for another 6.
she can see her for another
Sheehan's here for another
six.
6. I mean, hopefully Will Smith's here longer. Hopefully they fix that one, right?
Is he
Um,
is he available? Is he still under team contract for two
2 more
years?
years. But I think
So
they need to get him done. I really think they need to get him done soon. Um, let's see. Mike Lopez going, we need Jesus Luzardo, man. I'd take him, but I just don't know if he's available. I know that the Marlins have,
they would like to trade him, but it's just that his value is still too high.
yeah. I think the
After that
Marlins,
trade with Oakland,
oh my gosh. What was it? Was
after
just Starling Marte.
yeah, I think
There's,
after that trade with the Marlins, his value just went up. He started pitching way more better after that.
yeah. Well, did he have Tommy John? I thought he
No,
did. He
no, that
didn't?
was
Mania?
yeah,
Okay.
because
I
he
used to
went to
get
San
them
Diego.
confused. You know, um, let's see. Yeah, Dodgers waiting on Sasaki. Yeah, don't forget about Sasaki. And there was something that came out. We're not sure if it's good or not that, he really can opt out next year. Who knows? Um, put it
I
this
know
way.
there's a rumor saying that he said that he was trying to talk to the MPB or
Yeah.
the wherever it was he's at right now. That he's trying to like see if they'll put him on the market next season or in the off season.
Yeah. It's just they can't get much for him the way their current rules are. But and I have a thing out there about him, but or a little video, short video, but Dodgers have been on him. They've been on him for a few years. They've been watching him. They were on. So Max Muncy in that same interview where he talked about getting rid of the selfish guys, um,
Mm-hmm.
he said for years the Dodger players weren't talking about Shohei necessarily. They were talking about Yamamoto. They've been
Oh,
in on
you're talking about
Yamamoto
the
for
inter
years
you're talking about the interview he did with
with Eric Kratz.
yeah, that's
Foul
foul
territory.
territory.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, he's like. So I actually took an excerpt of that and I put it in that video. But it's like the Dodgers been on Yamamoto for years. They knew what they want. They were going after him, and yep, Mister Friedman is obsessed with Sasaki. I believe that to be the case, and
Well, he
so
did mention it on Doug's interview too. The interview he had with him, where he says that he was taking trips to Japan anyways.
yeah, no,
So who
they
knows what he was looking at?
yeah they know what they want. Let's see. If the Dodgers truly get Roki Sasaki next year, it's between Sheehan, Gonsolin, Bueller, May, and Ryan Frasso, Ryan Hurt for the number 6 spot in the 6-man rotation. Yeah, it's intense on that. I don't think Gonsolin, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Gonsolin, um, I think he's pitched probably last for the Dodgers. He's out for next year. And I don't,
Dustin May's also out for next year, right?
yeah, Dustin, and I don't see Dustin ever starting again. If they start him again, I think it's a huge mistake. Um, and Gonsolin, he's got to fix his mechanics if he's going to keep throwing that splitter that way. His arm's going one way and his body's going another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can't throw a split. You can't. Well, you shouldn't be throwing anything like that. It's just not going to work.
Well, both him and Dustin May got to fix their mechanics.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what Bueller's done. Bueller changed his mechanics a little bit.
I did see
Um,
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think so. Roy's asking, why don't the Dodgers consider Woodruff? Well, I think they are, but
They've already said they would be considered in him, anyways.
yeah, if they've got to be, they're sniffing around that.
Because what's
Um,
his name that's coming back after signing, and he was out for the whole year last year. Um,
JP
I think I'm trying to
Fireising,
think. Yeah, him. So he's gonna be back this upcoming year. So
yeah, he's going to provide such a nice variety in the bullpen.
oh, and then speaking of that too, remember when we had Tommy Canley? He was out for 1 year of that
Yep.
2 year contract, and he finally came back and he did really well for us in the bullpen.
Yeah, and then he got hurt too though, but yeah, he
Hmm.
that didn't quite work out the way that it was supposed to because he got hurt with non-Tommy John injury. After that, I mean, he rehabbed. Remember, he took through like three straight games at Rancho. I even got a
Right.
good nice interview with him for Dodgers Nation. Um, yeah, um, yeah. The hepatitis C later says 9-man rotation. Yeah, no kidding. Um, yeah, so the Dodgers are in good shape with their TV things. And then I don't know how the Japanese networks work with the television stuff, but straight up the Dodgers are going to make so much money off of Otani and Yamamoto.
Well, I
Those
mean, technically, they
contracts,
already got their money back anyways
yeah,
with the jersey sales.
those contracts are paying off like crazy. Um
I
and
mean, just Shohei's contract was probably already halfway, you know, returned already for them with those jersey sales in 2 days.
It's insane. I don't know how much, I can't remember how much they get from jersey sales. It's kind of spread out amongst the league, so the whole league benefits from that. But
Hmm.
Japan now is Dodger blue, straight
Yeah,
up.
literally.
Um, they're ordering Dodger stuff. They're going to. My understanding is that the Dodger games that are at 7:10 will be they're on noon for them during
Hmm.
the day, so that's good for them. Eventually there's going to be an opening day in Japan. I'm sure the Dodgers will do that. We'll be part of that.
I mean, they already said that. I think Max Muncy even said that when they go to Korea,
Korea.
is
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you already know that. You know how packed it's going to be there.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
And then
Um,
they said that they're going to be playing some of the Korean teams out there first before they play
mhm.
the series against the Padres.
Yeah, they're going to play. I think the Padres and the Dodgers are each playing like it's either two each or four each exhibition games out there before they come back because they still got to get ready for the season. I still remember when they went to Australia, they, did the Australia and they came back and played more exhibition games. Um, but they're going to play some out there, and it's going to be cool. Um, okay, so Scott Strong says, yeah, Dodgers have to spread jersey sales evenly unless the jerseys are bought at Dodger Stadium. Okay, so yeah, no wonder it's packed at the top of the park. Um, okay, King Element, it's two spring training games each in Korea. Okay, thanks. I knew there was a four in there. I didn't know if it was four total or four each. So okay, and yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird. I still remember the Australians series where Dodgers go out there and they beat the Diamondbacks in two games, but they came back and Kershaw hurt was hurt, and Brian Wilson left his fastball in Australia,
Oh yeah, dude. I remember
and
Brian
he was
Wilson.
throwing like
Yeah.
80, 86 miles an hour or something like that. Um, when he got back, he had nothing left, and so something in that flight was not good for them. So hopefully they find a way to not sleep wrong or something like that on the plane. Um,
Yeah, because he said it. Max Muncy was saying they played out there and then they come back and it's still. I think they said it's like a week and a half left of spring training when they get back to the States. So they're gonna, then they're gonna keep at it. But he says that yeah, it's gonna feel weird again to them, obviously.
yeah, that flight, man. That's what I dread. Yeah, long flights suck. Yeah, the longest I've ever gone is just cross country or to Hawaii, but it's yeah, we're gonna go to England sometime within the next year, and I'm dreading the flight. I can't wait to go there. It's the flight that I'm dreading. I
What is it
mean,
like? How long is the flight?
it depends on where you go from. So if you leave from Florida, it's like 8 hours. So I'm going to guess from New York, because we still got to go from LA, San Diego or wherever to New York,
Hmm.
and then from New York or wherever to to England. So yeah, and so that'll be long. and the time changes and all that stuff, it wrecks you because by the time you get used to the time change, then you're heading back.
I mean, just for me, just the flight from here to goddamn Florida, I was already like, ugh, like I'm
Oh,
already
I
dreading.
know. Yeah, we just did it. We just did
Yeah,
it two weeks ago.
I'm just like, come on. I'm like jet lag.
Oh yeah, no, because it's the whole day. Even if you go straight to Florida, which is a
Hmm.
5.5 hour flight, it's not. It's an 8.5 hour flight.
It is.
So, yeah, these guys got to fit. They're gonna have Dodgers got to figure out how to do this. Um, Google says LAX to Seoul is 13.5 hour flight.
But they're not flying from
Woo!
LA though. They're flying from Arizona, so it'd probably be a little longer, maybe.
I don't know if there's any direct flights out of Korea from Arizona. I don't know. They might still have to go to LA first. Ooh,
Could be.
yeah, man, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, hopefully the Koreans don't have a war before Dodgers get there. I know there was something hot going on out there. North Korea did something out there. Uh, tw- let's just be straight up, everybody. 2024 is gonna make 2020 look silly. Who knows what's gonna happen? There's gonna be psyops going on. There's gonna be
Hmm.
wars going on. There's gonna, all of a sudden attack. Watch out Taiwan. Um, watch out Korea. just watch out for whatever disease they come up with this time. Sorry, little conspiracy red pill there, but um, it was started in a freaking lab. We know this now. Pretty much, we know it. Um, we just got watch out. Take care of yourself, everybody. Just keep your head on a swivel. Just bottom line, keep your head on a swivel. Don't buy the narrative. Question everything. Question everybody, except I guess even Andrew Friedman. We question him too. But let's see. Why are the Giants playing the Cardinals at the Field of Dreams? Because they're stupid. Everyone thinks the Cardinals are special, and in St. Louis, Cardinals fans are the best. I've been into games in St. Louis. It's a great place to go to a game. I am messing. I'm not lying. They know the game really, really, really well.
That's one
Okay,
of the stadiums that's on my bucket list to visit for sure.
yeah, but everyone they act like the whole world likes the Cardinals. No, no, no. They're right. It's on Juneteenth, which is June 19th. I would be you'd think it'd be the Dodgers and Giants with maybe Mrs. Robinson's showing up or something like that. Even though
Hmm.
let's come on straight up, everybody. Even Barack Obama never even talked about. I looked up his tweets. He never even talked about Juneteenth until like 2019. So I know what happened, because of all the things that happened in 2020. Another pandemic could mean another Dodger World Series. Hey man, whatever it takes, but I will be at a parade. I don't pandemic or not. And I'll be
Yep.
straight up. There's another pandemic. I don't care if they shut things down. I'm going. I will
Same
go to
here.
church. I will go to church. I don't care if they shut it down. I will be at church. I will be here. I will not let anything shut down again. And the only way you'll see me in a mask is if I have to be in one. Um, Rockies versus Pirates. Manfred's dream for Field of Dreams. Yeah, no kidding. Um, let's see. What did Scott say? I missed him. Scott was saying, yeah, it's okay, yeah. Who are you guys talking about? I missed that. Oh yeah, Hun Suk Chung. Yeah, our Korean guy. Yeah,
Oh, you're
Scott
talking
says,
about the
yeah, he's only
prospect they have?
19. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Hopefully, we get to see him in Rancho this year.
I think he might be in Rancho actually. I think. I'm not too sure.
Well,
I'm just speculating only
I don't know.
because
He'll probably start
he's
a little bit at ACL.
isn't he in the DSL? Or was he in the DSL?
He was over there. He was in the Dominican, but he didn't play.
Oh,
I went to
thank
church once because my dad lost the bet. Am I going to hell? And man, it's between you and God. You better find that out yourself. That would be a different channel. I'll throw a little bit of stuff out there, but I don't have a channel for that. If you want to look at more of that, look at Ruslan KD or Mike Winger. Um, let's see. Or the Bishop Mari Emmanuel. Look him up. Mar Emmanuel. Look him up if you want to really be challenged. Man, that guy scares me in a good way. What's Freedom's next move? Hey, I like to be challenged, man. I like challenge. I think it's good. I like to question. I need to question myself. Did you see the guy jump the judge? Yeah, what was that about, man? I saw that. Yeah, he did that leap right at the judge.
I
It
did see
was
like
a
a video about
dude.
it.
It was a dude, a woman judge too.
Hmm. I think when did I see that? I think like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
I
well,
want to
I don't
say.
even know what that was about.
Yeah, me neither. I just remember seeing something, and then all I see is the judge getting jumped at.
It was crazy. Oh, Mr. Seabad says he was at Game 6 of the NLCS in Arlington in 2020. Sat by myself and it was wonderful. Hey, I wanted to go out for that Game 6 and for the World Series. I really thought about it, but
I was almost debating going to the NLCS
yeah,
when in 2020, but
I wanted to be with my family when the Dodgers won. So that's where I look at it. Um,
I mean, same here. I mean, there's always going to be Dodger history in my dad's side of the family, only because my grandpa's birthday is the day as the most infamous home run in Dodger history.
Gibson, Gibby,
Yep,
yeah,
and
that's the
JT's.
thing, man. That just that thing. That actually that home run made Casey Porter a Dodger fan for life.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep. And that's the thing with the Dodgers signing these players. It could be game changing for some of these fans, and hopefully they become Dodger fans because of an Otani or Yamamoto, and maybe they stay when they're gone.
Hmm.
I'm not so everyone could do this right. Everyone, if you want, you can fan however you want, but like for me, it's the team first.
Right.
So Corey Seager was my guy. He's not as much my guy. He's not on the Dodgers. Now I love the guy, but he's not on the Dodgers, and I'm rooting against him when he's against the Dodgers. I want him to go 0 for 20.
Don't we all?
You know, um,
I mean, same here. I
so
mean, you know me, Tim. I'm a big Justin Turner fan. I mean,
yeah,
even if yeah, I mean, like you said, it became more for me more so because when he hit the home run, also the walk off horn against the Cubs, which
yep,
was also the same day as Gibby's thing. But
yeah.
like I
I was
said,
there too. I was there
but
for
like I
that
said,
one for JT. Yeah.
but for me, it's more memorable because like I said, it's my grandpa's birthday, October
Hmm.
15th. So I mean, it's always gonna remind me of that. And like you said, a lot of these people like that are fans. I mean, some of these players, it's a big deal for them when it comes down to things like that. When it's something memorable.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Roy Estrada been a Dodger fan since '67. Nice, go blue. Yeah, I started in '73 when I was 8 years old. That's when I got into baseball. First
I
baseball
didn't get into
cards.
baseball till like 2001, I want to say,
Mm.
because I did tell you right who was my favorite player before at the time growing up.
Who was it?
Shortstop, middle infielder at the
For
time in
call?
2000.
No, 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 no,
Nope.
no, no, no. Oh crap. The shortstop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh God. It's Tourist.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, that dude was quite the fielder, man. I mean, when they had Alex Cora and his Tourist, that was some good defense there, man.
That was your middle infield right there at the time.
It sucks that what happened with Alex Cora. That guy would have been a really good manager for the Dodgers someday. I would never want him though.
Not anymore.
Can't. Never. What he did, leading that charge there. I know he's a good manager and maybe he's a good man. I don't know, but he made a huge mistake and can't have
Did you
that.
ever see that documentary I told you about? The Astro documentary that came out on PBS?
I still haven't watched it yet. It's rough for me, man.
I had
I
to watch
spent
it, but it's just
I spent
crazy
a
how
lot of
many
money on that World Series, bro.
it's just crazy how that documentary, all everybody that worked in that organization just comes forward and just speaks out.
Mm,
Sad to say that it just
yeah,
had to come down to that, but yeah.
it's terrible. Let's see. Here's a guy. Okay, my favorite player growing up was Mickey Hatcher, Jeff Hamilton, and Steve Sachs. Yeah, Jeff Hamilton, man, third baseman for a few years, and he had his. I think he ended up having Tommy John, and really never came back. But he's their third baseman in '88 when they won the World Series. I mean,
Hmm.
they're man, that infield. Let's see. When they clinched the World Series, their catcher of that game was Rick Dempsey because Mike Scioscia was hurt.
I do.
First
I think I
base,
do hear that.
first base was Franklin Stubbs. Second
Hmm.
base was Steve Sachs, who was legit. Shortstop was
Steve Sax.
Alfredo Griffin, he was a good infielder, but he didn't hit much that year. Third base, Jeff Hamilton. I think left field, Mickey Hatcher. Center field, John Shelby, and right field was probably Mike Marshall, I'm guessing.
Wasn't
Um,
Alfredo Griffin the one that drew the walk for
no, that was
before Gibby
no no
or
no no no.
Solovey?
That was Mike Davis.
Okay, there you go.
And
And
Mike
that's the guy.
Davis was signed from the A's the previous year. Or
There
that
you
or
go.
that
That's what I was
off
gonna say
season.
too.
Yeah, and then they signed Gibby, but Gibby only had one at bat that whole series. Um,
It was the series before, right? The series prior where he entered the
yeah,
first, sliding into second.
yep.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that team wasn't on paper was not very good, but they had a pitcher on fire. They had um Tommy Lasorda at
Yeah,
his best.
they had two pitchers on fire that year, right? Because they had obviously it was Hershiser who was
But
your
Tim
big
Leary
dog,
was really good that year. Tim Belcher was really good that year.
and then Jay Howe was the closer.
Jay Howell was their closer. He was good. Um, fudge. They
And then who
acquired
started
John
game one
Tudor.
again?
They got John Tudor for Pedro Guerrero. He was good, but his arm fell apart in Game 3 of that World Series. He only got 3 innings in. That was it. Um, yeah, they had
Tim Leary, man, I could tell you
yeah.
stories about that guy.
I remember he would just be at Dodger Stadium with his jersey on. My
Yeah,
son
he's
and I
my
saw him. I
dad's.
was like, there he is.
That's the owner. That's the owner of my dad's company. It used to be his pony league coach.
No way.
Yeah, so he stops by my dad's job a lot, and we always get to interact with him whenever we get the chance to see him.
That's cool. Yeah,
But like you said, he always comes with his jersey all the time.
yeah, no, I remember he was just getting frozen yogurt. We're watching, he's getting froyo, and it's like with the Tim Leary. I look, oh, that's Tim Leary. Uh, yeah, UCLA. He was with the Mets. He was with the Brewers. And it was the Dodgers. He
Cardinals.
was traded to the Reds in the Cal Daniels trade.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and he ended up playing with the Yankees. He went around a lot. Hopefully he kept some of his money. It wasn't near the money though it is now. I
Oh no,
mean,
yeah, of course not. Wasn't
uh,
he like a
he,
number one pick, right? Number one draft pick.
yeah, he was really highly regarded. And then the Dodgers got him. He had discovered it was splitter. He found the splitter.
Hmm.
And so they got him from the Brewers for Greg Brock. Greg Brock was supposed to replace Steve Garvey, who, by the way, it's 30 years late, but Steve Garvey is running for Senate. That was his destiny. Everyone thought he was going to be a politician. Then in 88, 89, acquired the name Father Steve for a very good reason. He had some issues. But Steve Garvey, it's about 30 years late, is running for Senate. um, he will not win in California, I don't think. He's got an R next to his name, so he won't win. But it's good to see Steve Garvey still going. He survived some cancer from a few years ago. Oh, what's the dude one? The dude cancer that a lot of older guys get. I can't remember. Yeah, that one. Uh, um, so yeah, I'm just glad to see he's alive and kicking. I wish he'd unblocked me on Twitter. I have no idea why he blocked me. Probably because I said something bad about the Padres, retiring his number and the Dodgers hadn't. Um, but to be honest, Steve Garvey got his number. This is where the Padres were. They retired his number because he hit one home run in a playoff game. It was historic,
Mm.
but it was a game four. It was in a tie game in an extra inning. Yes, he hit a grand slam or whatever to win a game four. They forced a game five, and they got to the World Series. But that's why he got his number retired because of one hit. Now that's silly. That is silly. But then again, yeah, prostate cancer. That's what it is. It's prostate cancer. See, I don't think about those things. I'm that age. Um, but yeah, but the Padres, they have a little. You walk in there, certain part of left field, you see their 2020 wild card pennant,
They're one of those teams too.
2022 NL
Wild card series,
what are they,
whatever.
NLCS or NLDS winners. Like, oh, okay. They still, they've got two worlds. Just let the World Series things go. I know they didn't win those things, but so what? Those getting to the World Series is a great accomplishment. Winning the wild card is not something you put a pennant up for. Then again, the Lakers freaking put up a mid-season banner, mid-series
Oh yeah,
championship
so
banner,
yeah.
and they're not even 500 right now. Is that true?
I think that is. I mean, I haven't really kept up with basketball anymore like it used to be.
I don't
I
enjoy the
think that
Lakers ananymore.
I
I
I
don't
think
watch
the
the
sport got too
NBA's
soft.
the NBA's became a game I just don't like. It's really tough when you watch the 1980s Lakers. I lived with that team. That team was lived and died with that team. They were so good and so fun to watch, man. Showtime, dude, that was great basketball. Man, running. I mean, they would just, the other team, this is back in the day. This was, you know, they changed the game. Pat Riley and all those guys really changed the game. Well, actually, it was Paul Westhead that started it, and or Jack McKinney. But the other team would make a basket, and the Lakers were fast breaking. I mean, they just go. The Kareem would inbound the pass, and they're just pushing. It was great. It was really fun basketball. Now it's like, okay, another 3-pointer. I just
That's what
don't.
I'm saying. I think the game has gotten too soft, anyways.
Yeah, they've realized that they can make
Hmm.
a lot of money by playing with their buddies and all that type of stuff. The new Showtime is here. Yeah, different Showtime. Or as my Twitter says, Show Tim.
Oh yeah,
It
I did see that yesterday when I saw your thing with Casey.
made me lose my check mark for a little bit. Um, oh, this is a good one. 25th year anniversary of Drake Cronenworth's game-winning hit in 2022 NLDS. Let's not talk about what happened next round. I know. Um, yeah, Dodgers are taking over LA. Yeah, NBA basketball is different now. It's Ron
I
say
think
should
Dodgers
run
are.
for Senate too. Then when they did have debates, the Penguin and Garvey could argue baseball for hours. I know that'd be the best debate you'd probably have in quite a while. Um, Penguins, he has a podcast. I haven't listened to it yet, but I need to find it. I think because
Oh yeah, that's right. It is.
I do everything
He,
on YouTube. I don't go on Apple much or anything like that. Um, so it's just kind of one of those things. So I don't find it ever since because I bought the premiere for YouTube. I don't get ads or anything like that. Um,
mm-hmm.
so well, because here it is during I was finding all these great live Metallica shows on YouTube, and like after a song and a half, I'd get an ad, and it's like, oh man, because Metallica, they almost every one of their shows is on YouTube. And so
Right.
and I always look for I like old Metallica stuff. I'm not a big fan of anything in the 90s or later, but the 80s Metallica I love. I'll still listen to the other stuff because it's good, but it's not that stuff. But I just bought Premiere. Yeah, I got the family thing, so my sons and my wife can use it too. And so yeah, so I listen to podcasts with that. I don't get any ads. It's kind of nice. Um, you know, um, YouTube advanced cracked YouTube no ads. Oh, ooh, trying to get to make everyone like baseball. Maybe it's like yeah, it's getting tiring to see LeBron chuck threes. Yeah, they're not running defense. Yeah, Lakers allure is dying because well, it's because it's not the same. It's not when the Lakers built their team back in the day, they did give up the franchise for Kareem when they traded for Kareem. They got him in his prime. Um, and Kareem, couldn't do it himself. He actually got him. He got him to a long ways with a lot of good seasons. Got some MVPs, but then it was amazing. The reason they got Magic Johnson with the first pick in the draft in 1979 was a couple years before the New Orleans Jazz, not the Utah Jazz. The New Orleans Jazz signed Gail Goodrich, and the Dodgers got not Dodgers. Lakers got his compensation, a draft pick. One of their first round draft picks. Turns out the Jazz still sucked because Gail Goodrich was kind of washed by that time, and they got Magic, and then 2 years later got the first pick in the draft again because during 1979 and 1980 or something like that, the Dodgers traded a guy named Don Ford, legend,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, for Butch Lee, and they also got a first round draft pick from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cleveland Cavaliers were the worst team in basketball. The Dodgers got the first pick in the draft. They had their choice of James Worthy, Terry Cummings, or Dominic Wilkins. And they really wouldn't have been wrong with any of them, but they made the right call with Big Game James.
Big James
But
Worthy.
yeah, and then they got Michael Cooper. Luckily, then they traded Norm Nixon, who was great, for Byron Scott, but it was the right move. They Jerry West, Bill Sharman, all those guys. They made it, well. It's been in the movies. It's all exaggerated and all that, but man, they made some amazing moves. And fortunately, they stopped Jerry Buss from trading James Worthy for Roy Tarpley. Oh my gosh, that was right before. That was right before '87. They would have not won those two things. Yeah, Dominic was underrated, but James Worthy was a perfect fit for the Lakers. Terry Cummings needed the ball more. I watched him a lot because he was with the Clippers and I was down here, and so Terry Cummings got the Rookie of the Year that year, well deserved. But yeah, yep. Get your Made in USA New Balance 999. Let's see, Rip Doctor Jerry Buss. Yeah, that dude really knew how to. Yeah, Kurt Rambis. He was a free agent. They got him from the Knicks. He'd been drafted by the Knicks. They had Spencer Hayward. They got Spencer Haywood for Adrian Dantley. He spent like the whole season on cocaine. Didn't even play in the finals. But they had Jimmy Jones. They'd gotten in a trade with Cleveland. They traded for Mitch Kupchak, or not traded. They
Mm-hmm.
signed Mitch Kupchak as a free agent. Then he ripped his knee, and then freaking Kurt Rambis took over for him. Yeah, Jeannie Buss doesn't know what she's doing. Um,
I think everybody,
yeah,
every Laker fan has
yeah.
seen that
Her
in
and
real
Linda
life.
Rambis are in charge of that team, and whatever. They had many opportunities to get Jerry West back, and they didn't. And I don't know why, but it's stupid. Jerry West is, obviously he's the logo, so he's obviously was one of the greatest players of all time. But he's
Right.
probably the greatest GM in any sport of all time, in my opinion. What
Hey,
he
did you
put
see that?
together.
What's his name? Took a picture with Shohei today.
Oh,
Um,
Kendall Williams.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh wow. I
Yeah,
just right now I just a little saw a little notification on my phone.
yeah, that was cool. Yeah, he ended up actually pitching in AAA by the end of the year. I keep
Oh, did
forgetting
he?
about him because he had a late start. But ended up having a nice season. I think I need to hook up with him. I spent quite a bit of time with him last year in spring training. You don't think Jeannie Buss calling any shots, huh? Yeah, Jerry West brought Shaq to LA and Kobe to LA for
Talk about
Kobe for Vlade Divac. Old old six pack Divac, man. He came from the Eastern Bloc, man. Everyone smoked cigarettes there. Um, yeah, Jeannie didn't. It's better that Jeannie's in charge than the clown that was it Jim Bus that was kind of
oh yeah,
killing it.
yeah, yeah.
He was really bad. Jeannie's done better. Obviously, they got they did get a championship, but it sounds like they're just not doing right. I don't know enough anymore. So everyone hates their coach. It seems like. Um, yeah, yeah. Jerry West said he wanted to come back. I mean, yeah, they chose Magic. So Magic, obviously one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Magic Johnson's one of the worst head coaches of all time, and had no clue what he was doing as a GM. He
Hmm.
just he just yeah, they say, oh, we got LeBron. LeBron made the choice to go to LA. There was that had nothing to do with Magic. He wanted to go make his movies. He wanted to go live out here, have his kid go, because he's already saying Bronny could already play in the NBA. He's better than some of these other guys. Like, come on, man. First of all, give your kid a break. That's not fair to Bronny.
I
Um,
think it sounds like what's his name? The guy that the Lakers drafted a few years back, where
oh,
his dad was like having
Ball.
him Lonzo Ball the same
Yeah.
way exactly.
What was it? What was it? LeVar.
Yeah, LeVar
Was it
Ball.
LeVar? Yeah,
Hmm.
LeVar Ball. Was it Big Ballers 3, big
Oh yeah,
BBB, whatever,
big
whatever.
yeah, Triple B's big baller brand.
Yeah, big baller brand. Yeah, and those shoes seem to have wrecked his kids, wrecked their legs. I actually I love Lonzo. I love watching that
Hmm.
guy play. That was, that team was the last team where I go, oh, I really like these players. They had Lonzo, um, who, the real thin guy, the real thin forward, tall thin guy, second pick of the draft. Come on, folks.
Oh, you're talking about was it no, not Ingram.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram, Bi.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
I loved Ingram. I love those guys. But they whatever. Get a BB shirt for free. Yeah, it's probably no kidding. Yeah, Magic wanted Duron Fox, but Jeannie wanted Lonzo. Either one. When LeBron came, they were going to get rid of whoever it was because LeBron too much. Um, Lamelo Ball. Yeah, and Lamelo the one that he was the one that wasn't so good. Yeah, Bi man. All right, what time we got? You gotta get man. You gotta hit it. Oh, it's
Yeah.
almost 11, bro. Sorry. Jeez. Well, I know we really diverged.
Serious.
That's all right. Well, I appreciate, first of all, Trinidad for coming on. I appreciate the chat for hanging in there. Man, we got, over 1,300 views tonight. That's pretty darn good. You got 56 likes. That could be better, but appreciate the people that did like it. Definitely appreciate the people in the chat. His dad was funny, man. Yeah, LeVar was funny. He got that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was comedy. I met him in person a couple of times,
Did
and
you?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we just trying to
I'm telling you.
be Lakers 2080. This was a Dodgers. Yeah, we just got distracted a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
well, because we can only talk about Teoscar for so long, and only talk about a wild trade speculation for so long. And
I mean,
yeah,
either
Trinidad
way,
and I haven't
baseball right
talked in
now,
person in a while, so.
even then, baseball right now is kind of like down a little bit. No free agents are really moving yet. I mean, if you really look at the free agent list, like you said,
Boris guys.
I watch the Foul Territory, and they're all Boris guys. Bellinger, Blake
Hmm.
Snell, all these guys are all Scott Boris's clients. So it's not like they're
Yep.
going to move anytime soon. They're just waiting to dry out, see what they can get now.
Yeah, I think the good news is that Dodgers they're not in on any of those guys, I don't think.
I mean, then again, too, what surprises me too, like you said, Justin Turner's still on the market. All these guys are still on the market. I mean, it's not like they're gonna move. I think
Yeah.
all these guys are gonna sign literally not even. I think within at the end of this month, honestly, when it gets closer to spring training.
Yeah, because they want to know where they're going.
Hmm.
I mean, and I honestly I don't see. Well, I guess I could see why Justin might be blocked because there's also JD there, and JD
Right.
is a Boris guy,
DH. Hmm.
and so I think because you're here, Arizona Angels for JD, for the Arizona for JT. To be honest, the Padres should go after JT. They need him. Because he could actually run that clubhouse way better than freaking Machado. But would JT even want to go hang with Machado again? I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, so I think even JT's blocked a little bit. Even though do you hear there was leaving a little thing about the Mets being interested in him?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of blocked. Because people they got money, and then they don't. Then there's waiting. I mean, Blake Snell's he's a good pitcher. Um,
I feel like he's gonna go to a Yankees. Obviously, there's talks that now that the Yankees are trying to like get him as well too. So I mean, like I said, but he's
yeah,
gonna want that big contract too. Which, in my reality, does he deserve it? Maybe, but longevity wise, as far as like him, as far as innings goes, probably not.
yeah, and with a worse defense behind him, because the Padre defense helped him a lot. I
Hmm.
mean, his numbers indicate that. So all of a sudden, if Max Muncy's at third, say he's on the Dodgers instead of Manny Machado, I'm sorry, but that's going to cost him some more pitches.
Oh yeah,
And the Yankees, I'm not quite sure how good their defense is. Um, yeah, so um,
yeah. Because I don't even know who their third baseman is anymore. Honestly,
I don't
now
either.
that
I thought they
I
were,
think I think it wasn't it Glaber. No, Glaber Torres is their second baseman.
yeah,
Sorry.
and then the kid,
Isn't it DJ? Isn't it DJ LeMahieu?
yeah,
Because
but
yeah,
he's
because Anthony.
he's falling apart. He's falling down. Um, yeah, so yeah, the once those things get freed up, though, I think we'll see some stuff. But yeah, players, a guy like JT especially, because it's going. Am I going to spring training in Arizona or am I
Or
going to
in
spring training
Florida.
in Florida? That's a BFD,
Hmm.
right? You got to go, where am I going? Do I have to drive that far? Because, most of these guys are in Arizona. They can say they might have a home in LA, but they spend a lot of time in Arizona. There's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
stuff.
speaking of Arizona, what's his name too? I was going to tell you. Did you see that our guy from Rancho is in Camelback Ranch right now, rehabbing from his Tommy John surgery?
Oh, Edgardo.
Yeah, so we
Yep.
might see him back this upcoming season too.
Yeah. That dude's got a lot of upside, man. Yeah, I reached out to him. He hadn't reached out back yet. I hope he does. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. So it's going to be, to be honest though, I don't want the Giants I don't want Snell in the National League West because the Dodgers don't hit him very well. Um,
Never did.
yeah, never did. Um, and
Although
then
you know who has a high batting average against him?
huh?
You
Austin
know who
Barnes
has a
does.
high?
Austin
Yep,
Barnes. Hey man, Austin Barnes knocked out Blake Snell in that game. So let's be ever grateful for the great Austin Barnes, man. Dodgers
for that
legend.
one.
See, that's the thing, man. Austin Barnes. I know he had a rough year, but he did get better at the end of the year. But he's gonna be with them another year or two. Um, It'd be interesting though if the freaking Rangers somehow get Kershaw, they go, hey, could we trade for Austin Barnes? Um, it might happen.
You throwing some like top prospects in there for them.
Yeah. Mr. Classic says, yeah, Snell and the Giants is yikes. Yeah. Because remember, Giants already have Logan Webb, and they got their that Harrison kid.
Who?
Um, what's
Oh,
his, Kyle Harrison? Is that what it is?
Kyle Harrison. Yeah, Kyle
He might
Harrison.
be a
Yeah,
good one.
and then they just
Um,
traded for Jess Glafani.
for who?
Oh no,
No, they traded
they
him, but they
for
got Robbie Ray. But he
there you
that'll be
go.
a while.
Sorry.
Um, and the Dodgers, after once at the end of 2017, they started hitting him a lot better. So I'm not worried about him. Um, yeah, not so King Yellowman. So the Giants got better without any player moves. They have Bob
Mm-hmm.
Melvin instead of Gabe Kapler, and the fact, first of all, that Bob Melvin couldn't work with AJ Preller, that's on AJ Preller. We're seeing that he can't
That says a
handle.
lot.
Yeah, it says a heck of a lot. Bob Melvin is way more qualified to run a team than AJ Preller. He will make a difference, a big
Mm-hmm.
difference. And now if Farhan gets in his face, then it's stupid because Farhan has no business. The dude freaking topped out in Little League. That's the truth. Now I know he's got his numbers and he helped to find Max Muncy and Chris Taylor. I'll give him that. But he should not, the Giants have they're spending too much time trying to be really cool about, oh, we got to have this diverse thing and that thing and make sure we have 100 coaches, you
Mm-hmm.
know, just so we can get all this thing. It's like, well, you got too many things going on. You got too
Oh
much
yeah.
going on. You got too many people at the major league level telling major leaguers what to do with their little notebook. Sorry, but this person has no credibility. You can have a couple of those. Yeah, Farhan with
Right.
Platoonberry Bonds. Yeah, he just takes those things. I know he's looking at the edge. I just think he has no feel for that thing for the game because he literally topped out at Little League. So people forget Andrew Friedman played college baseball.
That is true. I mean, we saw the pictures.
Yeah, yeah. Doug, that was so good. But you look, so all you have to do is run into Andrew Friedman, and you know why he only topped out in college.
Mm-hmm.
He's not he God did not give him the gift of baseball, of physicalness for baseball.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, Tamoli says Farhan runs them close to the A's and the Dodgers, and they're a big market team. They need to play like it. But
But
yeah,
the thing
they've
is, though,
nickel
with
and
Andrew,
dime stuff. Huh?
the thing is with Andrew Freeman, though, at least he has the knowledge of like what, even though he topped out just in college, but even just in college, like you got to have some idea of how you're going to be moving on to the next level as far as when it comes to
Absolutely.
playing professional baseball.
Exactly. No, yeah, because people could talk all they want. But when you get to college, because Tulane's D1, you play
Hmm.
D1 baseball, you're a good baseball player.
Exactly, and then you're getting taught the knowledge that you're going to be heading into professional baseball.
Yeah. So if you make it to Division 1 baseball, you are elite,
Hmm.
right? So, and going even further means you're even more elite.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why that Andrew Freeman, even when it comes to these trades and signings and stuff, he looks at backgrounds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like he's just gonna go and say like, "Oh, I just want this guy because I want him."
Yeah. Yeah, he's college clubhouse. Gomes, like I said, yeah, Brandon Gomes played with the Rays.
Well, both
Yeah.
they both came from the A's organization, so
No, the
Andrew
Rays. No,
Freeman.
Gomes actually was a pitcher in the Rays for the Rays Major League Baseball team.
Oh no, I know that, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
Freeman was the GM over there, but he knows like what the Rays are looking for as well. That's why he's making those when he comes to talking with the Rays, he know what they're asking for.
Well, yeah, because they all trained under him. I mean, he has there's so many people in baseball, GMs and the front office level that are that are from Friedman. The dude
Hmm.
has a huge legacy already of people. Yeah. Farhan once scored 4 touchdowns at Polk High. That is a throwback to the great Al Bundy, um, from Married with Children. Let's see. All Rays products. Yeah, they you learn it. You learn it with the Rays how to build a team on on a minimum wage.
Yep.
How to live life and with minimum wage. And then and what's his name? Um, Farhan had the same thing with the A's. Playing the money ball thing over there.
Oh
And
yeah, under Billy
so
Bean.
yeah, they both came at the same time to the Dodgers. Um, and you could
Was it at
see
the same
it
time,
where
or was it like a
where
year apart?
no, no, when Friedman came in to be, baseball ops, but he hired Farhan as a GM right away. And
Okay.
so, but Farhan always had that small market mentality, which is, I
Right.
think it's good. It's good you go, hey, I'm looking for every little thing. That's how you find, you know, late inning, what that Wade guy, Lamont, late inning Lamont, right? And you
Hmm.
find the Max Muncy and the Chris. It's always good to have to have guys, but you also got to go. I'm getting Mookie Betts, which I don't
Right.
think that the Dodgers would have went after Mookie Betts if Farhan was still the GM.
Oh, it wouldn't have happened.
I mean, they would have had to fire him to get Mookie Betts. So
Even then, I mean, well, then again, Max Muncy is the reason under Farhan.
yeah,
So I
oh yeah,
mean, it.
no,
I mean, other than that, I mean,
no, Farhan, he was good at plenty of stuff, but he needs someone balancing him off. So because now that he is the chief baseball guy there, he's making all the decisions. He has to approve everything. So even when
right,
Farhan was with the Dodgers, everything he did still had to be approved by Friedman.
right.
So yeah, that's but I don't know. I think Farhan's over his head. I think AJ Preller's over his head. Um, yeah, the
I mean,
Dodgers.
obviously, yeah, we know that eventually, as far as when it comes to Freeman's resume over these other GM and baseball ops guys, I mean, Freeman's like in the Hall of Fame, obviously.
Yeah, well, if he
I
gets another
mean,
World Series, he's in the Hall of Fame.
yeah. So
Um,
I mean, and then as far as when it comes to like setting the tone now this offseason, yeah, he broke the bank, that's for sure.
yep. And and the ownership also did, um, since shoot, I just lost my train of thought because I saw a tweet here, or not a tweet, but a chat
Chat.
here. So Tamoli, I'm going to debate you real quick on this one. Bench has been worse since Farhan, but bullpen light years better. Except in 2020, the Dodgers bench was nails, and
Oh yeah,
that team. Well, that might have been the best Dodgers team ever. I know people go, oh, it's 60 game season. That team was the best.
on pace to yeah. That team even in 60 games, that team was on pace to hit 100 games
Yeah,
anyways.
43 and 17. But remember, they also went into that season pissed off. That's what
Oh
they
yeah.
because they found out about all that stuff. So that
Hmm.
team, that was a good team. When you had when you had to decide, do I play Jock Peterson or AJ Pollock, um, or Chris Taylor? So I mean, there wasn't a weak spot on that team. Even for a while, Mookie Betts got Austin Barnes to hit. Remember
Hmm.
that?
Yep.
Um, God, that team was so good. One of the best teams I've ever seen. Just all the way around. And they had, but there was also, they knew a lot of guys were leaving as free agents.
Oh
They
yeah.
knew it.
Because
Jock
that
and
was a
Kike were going to be gone. So many pitchers. I mean, a lot of guys left as free agents. So that team was loaded. And Farhan helped build that team too, even though he'd been gone for a couple years. Um, especially and the pitchers were the whole starting rotation was homegrown,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, because it was
During
Bueller, Kershaw, and then we had May. And
Urias
then we
and
have,
Gonsolin
hmm
and Stripling too before he got traded. So that was all homegrown. Um, yeah, and they're a lot of their really, Jansen was homegrown, Baez was homegrown, Alex Wood even he'd been gone a year. Well, no, he wasn't
so,
homegrown. He was from the
but
Braves. I forget about that, but
also we
half the
had
team was homegrown. Half the team was
yeah,
homegrown. They they did a lot of good things, but yeah, then the 2021 bench wasn't very good. Part of that was because Max Muncy got hurt at the last there.
the last game of the season.
Which team was one of the best of all Dodgers not to win at all?
Ooh,
Hmm.
well, we know probably 17 will be up there.
17 was really good, especially when you factor in you Darvish.
Hmm
Um, and then probably some team in the 70s. They ran up against all-time great teams like the Reds and the Yankees in the World Series, and then they played the A's in the World Series one year. I
I
mean,
think
those are
81 would be
really
another
good
one.
teams, huh?
81 would be one.
But they won the World Series that year, though.
Oh, they said not to win it all, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, not to win at all.
2021.
2021 ran out of
What?
gas.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I would say but they
Yeah.
had potential to win it all.
Oh, yeah, I agree. No, that team I thought before that last weekend against the Brewers,
And remember, you have to think about it too.
that
If
was
it
the
wasn't
best
for the
team.
If it wasn't for the Trevor Bauer case, I think they would have had the pitching depth to go in winning
Yeah.
it.
No, they probably wouldn't have had to trade for Max Scherzer, and that rippled because Scherzer ran out of gas and was used wrong in that to close that one game, which rippled, which meant that Bueller had to go with 3 days rest instead of 4 days twice, which led to
Hmm
Tommy John. It was all in that way. So
Yep.
yeah, but go before that for that weekend with the Brewers, where they lost Kershaw and Muncy. That team was the best team in baseball, and they would have won that. They would have won that thing. But and then during those things, right? Yeah, Scherzer went poo. Bueller went poo. Uh, JT ripped his
Got
whatever.
hurt. Oh, the
Um,
hammy.
yeah. So by the time they were playing that last series, and they had Souza and old Albert
Pujols.
and stuff like that, it just wasn't there. Um, yeah, 17 wasn't used fault. The other team cheated. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, I was saying 17, you Darvish on that team made that. He was a great pitcher. That dude was
Yeah, I mean,
great at that time. That was his
and as people
prime.
and as far as people wanting to blame him for what happened, it wasn't even his fault.
No, it wasn't his
Maybe just
fault at all.
maybe just game seven because they were playing at home for the most
No,
part.
see, so there I got an excuse for him. Um, the what happened to him in game 3? They said after the game, oh, he was tipping.
So they
Chase
say.
Utley looked at all the tape. He said he wasn't tipping. But
Hmm
Darvish was so freaked out about the tipping. He wasn't, and I still, even in on the road, I cannot be convinced that the Astros weren't cheating then too.
Mm.
I can't, I'm not convinced. Um, they just, yeah, I can't be convinced of that. I just don't trust them. Yeah, Giants and Bauer ambushed the 21 team, and so did little Miss Hill. I'm not leaving her out of this either.
Wait, who?
Bauer and Lisa Hill, the
Oh,
girl.
hmm
It's public now. I mean, she was interviewed by primetime 99 Alex Stein. So she's been out
I heard
there.
what she got put on blast
Well,
for lying.
but I fault them both. I mean, they were both being terribly immoral. Um, and whatever happened happened, and that's the price you pay for being that careless. Yeah. Mr. Seabat, I love
Very
that team
true.
too. I wear 20. I still wear. I got some 20 stuff that I wear. Some that I have preserved. Um, yeah, Darvish Day is still bitter about that blame. Yeah, and I wish people really understood what psychologically what that did to him. Um,
I mean, even what's his name? Remember, don't forget
hey,
about.
Scott, I'm blaming both. I'm blaming both. I no one has been proven guilty or innocent. They're both terrible people for their behavior, and so they're both moral degenerates. That was a moral degenerate action that they both took, and they're both paying a price for it. So it's I'm not excusing either one of them. Um, you assign however you want to blame, but I'm definitely both sidesing this one. You go and start have a violent, you know what, with somebody, you're gonna have a problem now. Yeah.
But like as far as his teams go, as far as like not winning at all, yeah, I think those would be the top teams for sure.
Scott, I bring her up because she outed herself too. So it's nothing new here. Nothing new. And yeah, there's a lot more to that too. Just bad. Just bad all around. No, for this whole thing, everyone wants to blame Bauer, but I blame her too. Blame them both. They're disgusting people. Hopefully they both repent and get their lives together. That's all. I know it's controversial to talk about it at all, and I'm just it's frustrating as a fan, but mostly is it's like, gosh darn it, be better people.
Oh yeah.
Trying to be the new closer. I don't think he's be a new closer. I just hope he's good again. We need Trinan to be good. Remember how good he was?
Yep. And if he comes back, he's probably more going to be in that mix with the setup role with Evan Phillips.
Well, Phillips the closer right now.
No. I'm just saying if it comes down to like them trading for a closer,
Yeah, we're
like
signing
if
Hader.
like they'd probably be in the mix, probably both him and Evan Phillips for the setup role.
Well, I don't think I don't. I'm hoping they don't. I don't like the setup. I don't like the closer. I want them to get the matchups, play the
Mm-hmm.
matchups, right? If you need to get, if you got outs that are good for Evan Phillips to get in the seventh, then you use Evan Phillips in the seventh. If you got a great group and you got the game on the line in the sixth and you need Blake Trinan, do it. Because the Dodgers used to do that with Trinan. They had him all the time.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
is he for sure? Can he be a closer? For sure, he can be.
Trinan's been a closer.
Yeah, when he was with the A's, I
Yeah.
think he lost that job to Liam Hendricks when they were in Oakland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His shoulder went bad then, too. Phil
Hmm
Bickford is a Dodger legend. Hey, oh, Phil Bickford, man. That dude, he never said, that dude never complained. He's give me the ball. And
That
then
is true.
there was a couple times even after the when Doc come take the ball from he'd sometimes even say thank you. Just I think he was very appreciative of being on that team and playing baseball. Um, and I totally get it. He's a local kid, right? And he got to play for the Dodgers.
And he's part of history.
Yeah, God, he was on that he was because remember 2021 he was part of that helping getting that bullpen back
Hmm
when they got him. Um, yeah, Phil wasn't the best, but I think he was well liked on that team.
He was a
And
competitor, that's for sure.
yeah, no, he's willing to take the ball. And boy, they traded him to the Mets along with Kolarek. I think it was like for about $5.
Wait, did they trade him to the Mets?
No, to the Mets.
No, that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah, he
traded
was
him
a
out there.
Met. And he actually did okay with them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and then Kolarek he was signed by the Angels, and then the Angels just demoted him. So the two things come to mind when I think of Kolarek. Number first is he is a world champion.
Hmm.
Second of all, why the heck didn't Doc Dave Roberts use him in that
Pitch him
game
against
5?
Soto.
Gosh. I remember getting texts. I remember getting texts from somebody who knows Doc really well and was asking me, is he going to get fired? And I said, man, I don't know. Because if there was a time to get fired, it was after 2019.
Oh yeah,
That was
for
bad.
sure.
That was bad.
Just the usage of that NLDS game.
It was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
Because what they were up 3-1, right? Score
Yeah.
wise, and
Yeah.
then they tied it in that eighth inning when Kershaw gave up the two bombs.
Well,
And then
first it was to Rendon, right?
which was I still don't blame him. It was a great pitch. Just
Yeah.
golfed it.
But I mean, people still got to remember 2019 Kershaw. No, Mikey, I don't like bondage. I also don't like casual sex. I think it's dumb and is only dangerous and doesn't lead to anything positive. Do what you want, but I'm perfectly content to let other people do those crazy things and wreck their life. Um, but he he had Maeda,
Mm-hmm.
and he they also didn't. This was before the 3-out minimum,
That is true. That is to be,
right?
yeah,
They
because
they
then what do
had
we
they had it all set up. They just had to get past Rendon and Soto, and they left
Kershaw in?
Kirsch there trying to for a narrative. And every time they do that, it just hurts Kershaw's legacy more. I mean, 2019 hurt his legacy. This last throwing him when he was compromised hurt his legacy. Some of the bullpen moves has hurt Kershaw because the runs came in.
Right.
I'm not sure how many runs that Baez weren't charged as earned runs to Baez, but were to Kershaw when he came in. Um, it was just that's the thing. They just Doc, and I don't know who else it is. It can't just be Doc about the whole we got to rescue Kersh's legacy and all that. Best legacy for Kersh, use him as he is capable. Don't go, his name is Kershaw. He can rise to the occasion. Just let him go um to his just pitch his capabilities. I think one of the things that, and people have talked about this in the chat before, here's what people are afraid of if they re-sign Kershaw. That all of a sudden, Mr. Seabat, hey, Mr. Seabat, I'll just tell you, it's in the Bible. I'm just saying, man, it's all in there. um, but with they're afraid that all of a sudden the Dodgers are going to have this rotation in the playoffs, and all of a sudden Kershaw is going to he's going to bump someone because he's Clayton Kershaw. That's what people are afraid of. And you know what? I think they're right. I'm afraid of it too. I have to be honest with you. So, I mean, it's been proven that the Dodgers are willing to do that. In 2022 playoffs, they were playing um, Chris Taylor and JT when they shouldn't have been playing. They were totally hurt. Even Gavin Lux had that neck issue.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, that's
You
right. He has
know,
a stiff neck.
they shouldn't even been on the playoff roster. And then had Tony Gonsolin pitch for why? Huh? He had been terrible like the start in the one or two starts before the season. He wasn't ready. So it just all those things hurt. And then last year, you know, they pitched Kershaw. I know he had good numbers on the surface, but if you look deeper into the numbers, they weren't good, and the Dodgers know better than this. You know, they knew that, and they were playing Peralta, who shouldn't have been playing. Um, you know, it's like
Yeah,
you,
it just used up all those factors. I mean, this past season, Dodgers could have easily probably gotten past the Diamondbacks if they would have just picked their cards right.
I yeah, I think that's one of the things. Um, but you know, if let's put it this way, if Kershaw comes back and is really good, that's great. We want him to be great.
Hmm.
But if he's not, I don't want him to be in there, you know, playing, um, you know, pitching where he's not, where he doesn't deserve it just because he's Kershaw. Because Kershaw's not going to say no.
Yeah,
None of these
he's
players are
gonna
going to
go.
say no. If Doc comes up, or if Doc comes up, or or Friedman comes up and says,
Freeman.
"Yeah," Friedman goes, "Hey, we want you to play." Yes, sir.
Hmm.
They're going to play. They're professionals. It would take a lot for them to go,
No.
you know, well, I really don't think I deserve it. You know, I don't know if that's in their blood. And you know, it's kind of I kind of almost don't want them to, but that's why they're paid to be who they are. Um, that's why they're paid to do their job is to make the tough decisions. And those are sometimes you have to make tough decisions. You know, I know it's only little league and travel ball. I had to make tough decisions that people disagreed with. Parents are worse than fans, let me tell you.
No, that's true. I'll give you that part for sure.
I
That
can
is so
tell you
true.
that. Um,
The know-it-alls.
yeah. Well, especially if you make the wrong call.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I had my share, right? I'd managed a long time, so I screwed up plenty. Um, but yeah, they're paid to do this, and so they have to make the right call. It's up to them.
Oh
They have to
yeah.
make the right call. If they don't make the right call, then you know the tough call to tell the legend, hey, you know what, you're not the guy. We're going with Bobby Miller or Ryan Pepio because their stuff's better and they're going to play up in the playoffs. I mean, that was I felt I still I the you know the there's three reasons I want Kirsch to come back. Other than of course he's a Dodger legend, of course, that's a given. Number one, ending the way he did with
Well, that's always going to be that part for
that
sure.
was
Just
terrible. So I
hmm.
want him to come back and not have that be his last part is people's last memory is of him with that. Second, I
Right.
want him to get 3,000 strikeouts.
Hmm.
And I prefer it to be as a Dodger. And lastly, I want him to have that parade in Los Angeles. Um, and I think that you know, he got robbed of the parade twice. He got robbed of it in 2017, and he got robbed of it in 2020, even though they won it. Um, so that's how I look at it with Kirsch. I don't know how he looks at it because he has a wonderful wife and he's got four wonderful kids, and the dude's got more money than us and the whole chat probably combined.
That put together.
You know, he's got all that money. He doesn't need the money. So I hope he's thinking about that. But it's up to him. And if Kirsch, I don't give Kirsch anything, Mikey. To be honest with you, I think he has to earn it. Um,
Yeah, I think even though it's Kirsch because his name is Kirsch, he's got to earn everything now from
yeah,
here on out anyway.
yeah,
So
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Why forget about 2018, same as 2017? Because just to be honest, I think first of all, the Red Sox weren't cheating in that World Series. And also I think the Red Sox were a better team. That's for sure. I think they were
Oh,
a
they were
better team.
stacked.
Yeah, that was a really good team. Um, yeah, I just think Kersh has to earn it. I think every player needs to do that. Yeah. Dave Roberts, equal season one, Ted Lasso. No matter what they do, it's always a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, Doc takes a lot of crap, but that's part of his job too. You just take the crap. That's part of his job. Um, and he gets paid well for it. Um, and at the same time, I still would like to know, to be honest, when how much how much is going on with, the management of the team during, preparing the game, who makes the final call on the lineup, who makes the final call on the game plan, and then
Hmm.
who's making the call during the game. Is it Danny Lehman? Is it a phone call that shouldn't be made? I mean, is it Doc? We don't know because they don't tell us. Now, Doc will say it's him. And so at that point, I'm going to believe him because I don't think, I'm just going to believe Doc. I think that's
Yeah,
it.
there isn't enough evidence that he's getting it from somewhere else anyway. So
Yeah. But,
I mean, to us, it's just Doc that's making the final call.
yeah. So whatever it is, I mean, someone has to make the final call and it should be Doc. It should be the
Hmm.
manager. Um, he's probably, same time, I think, like with the Rangers, I think Bruce Bochy makes all those calls.
Oh,
That's
100%.
why
It has to be.
That's why when you talk about managers, there's one best manager in baseball, and it's Bruce Bochy, and it's not close. He's the
100%.
A. Everyone else is a B or less.
Hmm.
I have Doc as a B. I have Torey Lavello as a B. Um, and a few others, which is really good. But there's only one A. No one's as good as
Yeah,
Bochy. He's so good. Um, yeah,
just
I'll
the way
just
he handles the staff and just the way I mean, you look
so
at what he's
good.
done. I mean,
I know.
it's not proven. And you know what stands out to me with Bruce Bochy? Not many people will remember this, but I think it was 2012, when they first won the first World Series in the even years,
Yeah,
when they won the three out of the
2010.
oh no, sorry, yeah, 2010. I believe it was 2010 or 2012 though. One of those two was
Hmm.
it. But remember Aubrey Huff?
Yeah,
Remember he had him bunt?
I don't even remember. I was so pissed watching. I was just
But there was a game where he had his power hitter, his cleanup hitter bunt
mm,
and to get on base, and that is what brought up, I think it was Buster Posey for them to tie up that game. I forgot what game it was though, but it was one of those two World Series. He had his cleanup hitter bunt, and he said, and never nobody suspected it because Aubrey Huff was a power hitter.
yeah. It's about winning,
Hmm.
and Bochy's willing to do what needs to be done. Um, so the analytics are making the decisions for the Dodgers, and that's the way it should be. Analytics has always made the calls with baseball. Batting average is analytics.
Hmm.
That was, RBIs are analytic. Now they're not a good analytic, but they are something. Analytics have always driven baseball. It's what you do with them
It's
because
only going to get you so far though.
yeah, you can have two people looking at the same thing
Hmm.
and they see it differently based on their bias. I don't care what the data says. Data is always just data. It's just raw. It's how you interpret it. Because it's like I could read a sentence and you might have one version of it. You go, that's what it means. And then um hepatitis
Somebody
see
else
you
is another.
later says, no, I don't think that's not what it says. Now, of course, you go 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, we'll go with that. But if we go, well, here's these numbers, and you go, well, I like this, the hard hit rate off of of a fastball that's in the inner part of the plate. I like that of this batter against this pitcher. And then someone else will go, well, yeah, but if the pitcher throws a curveball, I like this. And so I want this hitter in there because he might throw the curveball. It's what you do with the data. You still have to make decisions. Now, I could go into Grok and go, who should hit here? And Grok's going to go and
Hmm.
make and do something. That's the AI for what's it called? X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And it'll tell me something. It's still an interpretation of the data. It's there's always bias in data. So that's what people you go even if we were talking about the Bauer case a little bit, it's what data do you look at? What data do you know about?
Hmm.
Right? What do and what is your bias? What people, we're looking at the same data all the time.
That
You
is
know,
true. We are always.
I'm not gonna well, I'm not I would talk about what happened, but 3 years ago, but I'm not going to. But as an example, you can look at what happened on 9/11, and there's people that see some data and they go, "What happened with Tower 7? How come that fell this time?" And then, oh, that just was, it just, and then you get theories. There's just data out there and there's information and there's bias. And so even with analytics, there's bias. And so how Doc reads something versus how Danny Lehman reads something versus how Bob Guerin reads something versus Andrew Friedman reads something versus this, that, and the other. They all have their things. Everyone's got their things that they
Opinion.
like. And so, I mean, we see it on even with the serious baseball nerds, the Twitter, the guys on Twitter that really know analytics, they got their things that they like. Yeah,
That is true.
gut feeling is when Doc really gets in trouble. That's when they
Yeah.
do. That's what he does with Kirsch. Too much of the gut. Oh, I really liked him out there at this situation. Um, no, you take the data and you do the best you can. And some people are good at it, and some people aren't. I got people. Yeah, and I still don't know what even happened on Tower 7. I just learned about that and I don't even want to know, it seems like, but I'm just using there's information, what do you do with it? Um and then, you go Doc looks at data a certain way and everyone looks at this data a certain way, and it's not as easy as people think. You don't just push a button on a computer because and I'm a software engineer, so I write code. The data that goes into the code is what drives the algorithm.
Right.
There's weights and with statistics. It's just there's a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, someone has to make a decision. And if Doc makes a decision and he's the one to make a decision and he's the final decision maker, great.
True.
Great. That's what we want. Someone has to make a decision. You can't if you have a committee, committees are good. They help you refine and you argue and you go back and forth, but man, someday if Doc's making the final, that's fine. But I think like Boch, I'm sure he still talks to other people. I hope he does. That's what a good manager does. But at the end of the day, his judgment just seems to be better because part of it might be because he's a catcher,
That is true.
right? You probably have a bias there, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, the catchers can have a different view of the game than a center fielder or a left fielder or whatever. That's why I actually like catchers as my managers better. I think that is why Bruce is good at what he does. I think that's why Austin Barnes is going to be a great manager someday, and I think better than JT. Just because I think having that strategic behind the plate, you got so much responsibility back there. You know this more than I do. I'm left-handed, so I only got to catch the last time I got to catch in a game I was 12 years old. But I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, well, but again, Mr. Seabad, you're still Yes, you have to look at the data. But again, you have to make a decision on what data do you believe in, and that's what do you favor? What do you think is more important? Said, yeah, yeah. Joe Torre was a catcher. Um, he got he got he got 4 out of 5 World Series, so he must have done something right. But sure didn't seem like he did a good job with the Dodgers. I was fired up when Joe Torre was announced as the manager. Oh man, I thought that was going to be the greatest thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was disappointing. It seemed like he almost dialed it in. I don't know. I don't know. I just it just seemed like he was just maybe tired. I don't know. He managed a long time. He first started, gosh, he first started in 1977 as a manager. Okay. All right. Time sounds like on the breaking the Dodgers signed Tim Rogers for 10 years, 701 million for data analytics. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I can program it, but yeah, you don't yeah. I admit my bias. I'm I'm very biased. Um, I have my information I lean on, but nah, we all got our bias and we all do the best we can, including Dave Roberts and including Trinidad, who needs to get to sleep because it's way later than I thought it would be. And we definitely went very his first job was with the Mets as a player coach, player manager, remotely. Um is what we're trying to get tours are yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a good one to end on. Scott Strong says, as a teenager, I was more excited to try to get Joe Torre's autograph when I came early to a game one day, but line was too long, so I settled for some rookie named Clayton.
Wow.
Wow. Now, and that is a great way to end this Art Bell type show at the end, the middle of the night. You definitely, yeah. Some of the deep stuff, weird stuff, which I think about all that stuff. It pops into my head. I listen to everybody, so I got a lot of stuff in my head. So, um, on that note, so everybody, I appreciate it. Again, Trinidad, thank you. Hopefully you get some sleep real quick. Sleep well. I know I won't. I just don't. But I appreciate everybody, and we will be back soon. I think I'm gonna do one real quick thing before I go to bed, which is to redo the Teoscar thing a little cleaner because this whole trying to get things started was bad. I started wrong, but everyone, thank you again. Thank you for 1,641 views, 72 likes. Really appreciate it. View durations have been great. We're excited about the season coming up. Andrew Friedman's still got more things up his sleeve. And we will see you
100%.
all hopefully at FanFest. Need to get you a media pass
Hope
for that. I need to get you in. All right. So remind
sounds
me
good.
if they would ever announce it. So hopefully FanFest announcement will be really soon. And we will talk to everybody again soon. Please come back, like, subscribe, all those good things. And on that note, thanks everybody. Good night.
Sounds good.
God
Later,
bless.
guys.
And go Dodgers. And that. All right, man.